Let's go. FT Live. Happy Monday, everyone, and happy Nicky Lopez Day joining us from the Kansas City Royals. Soon we'll also talk to Christina De Nicola about the Miami Marlins. Marlins are good. They swept the A's. I know AJ doesn't count the A's as wins and losses.
No.
Here we go.
No. You don't count the A's.
Here we go.
You.
AJ. You. The A's are a real team.
I know, but you said when the Rays were beating them, they don't count because they're playing the Rays. Now all of a sudden you count them. Why?
The Rays have come back down to earth a little bit.
Luis Arraez is hitting 392.
They're not as in first place.
They haven't come back.
You would have optioned him a month ago.
Oh my, you're just. There's a lot of names I want to call you.
One
of them starts with dumb.
Biggest Luis Arraez fan. Do you remember that clip?
Which clip? Where you said the A's don't count.
AJ never said
battle.
AJ never said he didn't like Arraez. He just said he's not the MVP.
He said no. He said the Marlins got rocked on that deal.
I never said that.
This is high Monday. Like, let's go.
Scott's still at the rave on his ecstasy right now.
Man,
he's thinking of something, a different program.
So many lies.
Can't wait to get that sponsorship. So how was your weekend? How was your weekend?
My weekend was great.
I heard you on Cleveland and Minnesota.
You were one of the 7% of the country?
Was that all it was?
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't go off
it was a good game.
I go to the app.
Oh, it was a good game.
It was a good game.
It was a great series between those two.
It was a
really
great
close competitive games.
And also, I mean, you missed the real show the next day.
What did I miss?
Tristan McKenzie.
Did you see Royce Lewis?
Oh, getting hurt again?
Scorpion. You ever see Ridiculousness on MTV?
I have seen, I've watched it.
When they did the Scorpion and the guy gets bent over, he did the Scorpion after he ran over the RES at first base.
Yeah.
He was okay. He got up, though.
No, I know, but he's out again.
Is he?
Yeah. I don't know what the exact extent is. I don't know if it's IL necessarily, but I think he's out at least.
I didn't see he was on the IL.
I didn't either.
I didn't say IL. I didn't say IL. There's a lot of fake news being flown around here in the last 2 minutes, as Pete Alonso would say. But no, he is hurt. I'll get the update while we're talking. If someone else talks for 20 seconds,
he's been huge for him. And Tristan McKenzie coming back helps them. They split that series, but it was 4 great games. The game I did, the Guardians won. The Twins won the first 2, 1-0, 7-6. And the Guardians won the game I did on Saturday, won yesterday. I mean, talking about 2 pretty evenly matched teams. And Correa and Buxton, Correa's hurt. Dude, Kratz, think about this. I watched Carlos Correa take, 500 swings before the game on Saturday. He hit by himself for an hour. Over an hour
on
the field with the hitting coach, the assistant hitting coach, the video guy, the director of physical something, his own hitting coach he has. They all filmed it. They all did it. And then he comes out and he's like, yep, can't play. I'm like, you can't DH, dude. You just took 500 swings.
Did you say that to him?
No, but I didn't see him. But I was like, what I said to him was, when you coming back on? He said, let me know. I'll come. So that was what I said to him when I saw him. But,
okay, let's get him back on.
But I was like, dude, you can't DH. You just took 500 swings.
Yeah, but maybe they weren't good swings. He didn't feel good.
You still got to get out there. You're the
man.
You are as much the man as the Twins have.
But him and Buxton didn't play either.
Well, AJ doesn't do this show on Fridays.
But here's my question. but my thing is you telling me that, and this is not a knock on Ryan Jeffers, but Ryan Jeffers was their DH. It was his birthday. So maybe that's why Rocco, who was also sick, Rocco had abdominal pain, so he was a little late. But you can't tell me Carlos Correa can't DH if he can take 500 swings?
That's weird.
I mean, I get it. I've never had a toe hurt, but maybe he didn't wear his off-whites.
Yeah, maybe his feet are growing.
It could have been something else, too.
What do you mean? No, it's toe. He's got a bad toe.
That's the main problem.
No, sorry. Plantar fasciitis.
Right.
Oh, don't.
Plantar fasciitis apparently sucks. I've never had it. Does it suck?
The worst.
I mean, I played.
You think you played with scurvy.
I wish scurvy's it's no anal fissure, but it's a cool thing to have, it sounds like.
Come on.
I mean,
plantar fasciitis is...
That's bad.
So I had to sleep with a boot, a night boot, where you have to sleep with a boot.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is when you sleep, your foot, and that's what causes it. It gets all
tightens
up.
up.
Wake up, And the first step in the morning, oh man.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, oh, and my house in Chicago had all these stairs, so I'd be like, oh, I have to like use the rail to go down the steps. It was bad.
That is bad.
You think about in the morning rolling over and just peeing off the side of the bed. Like not even going to the bathroom. Like just right onto the floor. That's how much pain it is. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
I agree. And, I just got orthotics and took it right away, though. Because they said, when you catch, your foot gets like this, so it stretches it out. And then when you sleep, so then the fascia in there get stretched so they get sore. So I just got orthotics, and then
I tore mine.
Oh, well. You and Albert, didn't Albert Pujols do that?
Oh, I don't know. But I tore it, and it was tremendous 3 days later. It felt like the bottom of my foot just exploded. Like it almost felt like it exploded like in an X. And it was like severe pain. We had a day off the next day, and I did it in the 9th inning, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to walk again in my life. The next day I came in the field a little sore, got a lidocaine shot in my foot, lasted the whole game. It was totally fine. 2 days later, I was Gucci.
By the way, Royce Lewis is pretty Gucci too. So it appears that there's no concussion, just a laceration to the forehead. Laceration is just a cut.
Yeah, it's fancy word for you cut your forehead.
Well, what's the bruise word?
Contusion. Yeah,
sometimes you're like, oh,
you have a bruise.
Contusion.
He's contused. Yeah, you have a bruise.
Yeah, it's a bruise.
You have a bruised thigh.
No, I'm not downplaying.
Okay, so Brian. So while we're on the
pretty.
Twins,
yeah.
Byron Buxton got hit by a pitch. Right, he has a contused rib. He's missed like 4 games with a contusion.
Contused.
Bruised ribs.
Bruised ribs.
It's a big part of your swing is.
Okay. Again, I'm not questioning anybody's toughness because I know how it goes. But I played a couple weeks with a torn oblique, and I feel like I got hit a lot by a lot of dudes. I got thrown out a lot by a lot of dudes. I got hit a lot in the ribs. I just kind of, all right, let's go. But again, I'm just saying, everyone's different. Everybody's different.
You're built different.
And they need Byron Buxton down the stretch.
Also, sometimes I don't want certain players playing if they aren't X%. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes guys play when they're like, oh, I'm battling through it. And they'll have like, they'll hit like $120 and do nothing in the second half of the season. And then it's like one of those off-season stories where you're like, apparently he was playing with a sprained wrist. And you're like, well, I wish he wouldn't.
Yeah.
like unless he's, a superstar player who can handle the pain tolerance, I don't necessarily want my like everyday guy just, what do you say, swinging a hot noodle? What's your swinging a wet noodle?
A wet noodle.
A wet noodle. A hot wet noodle.
Hopefully, if you're going to eat it, it's hot and wet when you're going to eat it, but not.
I just don't want it. So I want guys healthy and thriving.
But the Twins are also super duper cautious with Buxton.
Well, he's a different case. This is a guy.
No, I understand because they need him for as many games as they can get him. So with his knee, because remember his knee was acting up again, and that was kind of his thing. So they were going to give him some time, and then now he's got the ribs. So all right, let's get back to
I want him in the playoffs. No, but I it's important to bring it up from the jump because I want to start asking you on Mondays about where you were. I'm
off for 2 weeks. So
you're off what?
For 2 weeks.
Oh, you're not. Well, you have midweek games. What's your game tonight?
Well, that's why we have who we have on today. The Royals at the Marlins.
It's called AJ Homework Day.
AJ's cheat sheet. AJ's cheat sheet Monday.
I've got so many questions for Christina.
About the fish?
Oh, about the fish. I can't wait. I can't wait to ask her what's wrong with
Luis Arraez
and why he's still in the big leagues.
I don't know what's wrong with Sandy Alcantara.
Yeah, that's the first question I have.
Imagine if he was, because right now, I mean, he's pitching like a 4.
He's got a 5 ERA.
Maybe a 5?
Yeah.
Right. So imagine if he was Sandy from last year. The Marlins might be leading off the show instead of, let's charge the mound, the Texas Rangers. They are soaring at the moment. And hey, they have a guy that they have to manage, Jacob deGrom.
He doesn't pitch.
I know.
But is he managing or is he just not pitching?
Well, my whole thing, and I think I'm going to bring it up a couple times on this show today, one of my favorite – do you remember who one of my favorite NBA players ever was? I bring him up quite frequently.
Michael Jordan?
No, not generic.
Spud Webb.
Robert Horry.
Big Shot Bob?
Yes, because like in the last 7 years of his career.
I've never heard you bring him up ever, but we'll just say we have.
Oh, no, I brought him up multiple times.
Oh,
never heard of him.
But that's
I've been on all the shows.
Cool. We're friends. 100% have.
I haven't been on Fridays, but I haven't even heard.
I brought him up at least twice, if not thrice, on this show.
Anyway,
all right, it's cool. Continue. Fine, it's cool.
Continue with your lies.
We have many interns that are going to be on it after the show. They're going to find
with your lies.
So my next lie is Jacob deGrom could be that guy. Hey, I just want him for stretch in postseason, not just playoffs. I mean, but you're going to make sure that your clutch asset is ready for the postseason, especially with the way that they're going and the rotation that they have.
Dude, first of all, let's talk about Nathan Eovaldi. He might be the All-Star Game starter in the American League.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's pitched. He's got like a .7 ERA or something. It's like his last 7 starts. 0.74 ERA, 6-0 or something with like a .74 ERA. I know McClanahan's been good, but man, who's better than Nathan Eovaldi right now? And he's the guy that nobody talked about. And when they signed him, they were like, "Oh, we got deGrom. Oh yeah, by the way, we threw in Nathan Eovaldi signing too." I mean, he's been their savior, and him and John Gray have been great. Martin Perez has been good, and these dudes mash.
That's what I love about Eovaldi. I love Eovaldi because, and it's such a general term, like he's a winner, but like with this lineup, if you give Eovaldi like a 4-run lead, and this is why I don't think he'll be the starter or even like the Cy Young type of like top 3 guy by the end of the season, he just goes out and pitches. He's okay with giving up, if he has a 4-run lead, he's okay giving up a run. I know it sounds stupid, but he's a guy that goes deep into games, and he's to me, he's going to anchor this staff. I think obviously the other guys are doing well, and then there's going to be a lot of deGrom talk when he comes back eventually and throws 5 starts, and then he misses 1, and then he throws another 4 starts. But Eovaldi's going to be this team. I disagree with who did we have on that said the Rangers go as deGrom goes? I forget who that was.
Evan Grant.
Yeah, the guy you thought voted for you for the MVP, but it wasn't.
No, it was Hall of Fame. It was the other Rangers.
Oh, it was for the Hall of Fame. Okay.
We were on the ballot, right?
Who?
You.
No chance. I didn't get 10 years of service.
Oh, well, okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
So you get confused. You get confused when you get 2 votes. You forget who the 2 were.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think
so much to keep track of. All 2 of them.
I agree. I do too. I think you're right about everything you just. But don't forget. John Gray has won his last 5 starts. Yeah. First Texas pitcher to do that since our boy Lance Lynn, right? 0.79 ERA. His last 5 starts. That's pretty good. Their run differential is like the greatest of all time through their first 60 games they played.
They mash.
Josh Young's the only guy in baseball to hit a home run in all 9 innings this year. It's a pretty cool stat.
What a stat.
That's a great stat.
That's such a SportsCenter stat.
Not a SportsCenter stat.
Yeah, it's a TV. I don't even say SportsCenter. It's a TV stat.
We're on TV.
Like where I used to work. Like we don't have anything. We want to talk about something crazy, but instead, let's go.
It's a cool stat.
So on Sundays does this. Whatever.
There's one guy in baseball that's hit a home run in every inning. It's Josh Young. It's kind of a cool stat.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's cute.
He murders the ball. He swings. Oh. He swings a shillelagh. That bat is. It looks long. Like if I'd watch his swing in AAA, I'd be like, kind of a long swing. Kind of like he wraps it some, and he puts together at bats. He drives balls to right center. He'll hook something down the line. He goes deep left center. I'm impressed. I'm still glad my choice was Yoshida for Rookie of the Year, but he's going to give it a run.
He's in the conversation. There's no
for
doubt
sure.
About it. I did a Rangers game early in the year, and I was like, "There's this young guy." And then I watched him. I was like, "Oh, he went deep to right center." I think the game I did.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, you got it like that."
No, this team's for real. This team is very for real.
They need, if they get bullpen,
they're going to.
I know. I'm just saying, if they can just get that one piece, I don't know if they
2 or 3.
Okay, but I'm saying a closer will back everybody up. Chapman, maybe.
I did my trade deadline homework this weekend.
Already?
Yes. Oh. I've got tons of names for bullpen. Yes. Not everyone's getting Chapman. There's only one dude.
I was going to say, he's going to pitch for 2 teams.
Yep. Kendall Graveman, Liam Hendricks. Hold on.
White Sox are still in it, bro.
I've got many more.
All
right, fine.
Bro,
5.5 out.
Let's move on. Brent Suter, Brad Hand. I know that's more in your setup range, but throwing out more names for you. Do you know who the reliever of the month for May was in the American League? If you didn't see the name, you'll probably never get it. He's been good, but you're not going, oh, yeah, you won't get it.
Give me a division.
Central. AL Central. I don't think he'll get
Alex
it.
Lang.
Yeah.
God, I'm good.
Alex Lang.
I am so good. Yeah, blew a game yesterday. Gave up a walk-off salami to Burgertron.
But he's going to command.
Did you see his interview, though, after? Did anyone see his interview after? It was awesome.
Jake Berger?
No. Alex Lang.
What?
His interview after he gave up
what
the walk-off.
What did he say?
It was just like, it's all on me. I sucked. It was awesome.
That's what you're supposed to do.
100%. It was awesome. I mean, it was.
And he wears a turtleneck with no sleeves.
David Ardsma style. Chipper
Wow.
Jones
It is.
style.
I like that. Jason Foley will vest.
Who?
I don't think the Tigers relievers.
Oh.
They've got a good set.
Those guys are young guys. They're not getting rid of them.
Marlins have some good relievers that'll get traded.
I don't know. Shots fired on
Man.
Marlins Day.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
The Marlins are
Dylan Floro.
The Marlins are thinking they're buying at the deadline right now.
We got to ask Christina that if they're buying or selling. They usually don't buy, but they might be this year. They're in it, dude. They're ahead of your Phillies.
And
at
some
ahead of
point,
Bronze Mets.
Here's my thing. At some point, you've got to say enough. We have to try.
Marlins?
Yeah.
They tried in 2020 when they went 31-29 and made the playoffs.
Right, but okay. Yes, exactly.
And beat the Cubs.
And that was a way too soon run for them, right? You expected them to be still building for a bit, and that was cute and nice. But at some point, you have to go, okay, let's do something here.
Kratz, what happened to – remember they had Sixto Sanchez? What happened to him? That dude was filthy until he got hurt. Is he still hurt?
Yeah, he was the guy, and it was looking like, oh, the Phillies might have gotten, they got Real Muto, but they might have, it might have been an even trade because Sixto was sick. And I think he did something to his shoulder, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen anything.
He's got shoulder problems.
And that's
I would like to actually ask Christina about him as well, because he's got a little bit of Strasburg going on right now.
Well, except for minus about $300 million.
Right, a lot cheaper. Minor shoulder soreness. Marlins targeting a second half return. That was a report from about a month ago. So that's not terrible if he reappears in the second half. No. The whole knock on Sixto was undersized righty, injury concerns. That's what's played out. But the stuff is one. It's one stuff when he's healthy. So here's the good news. Since then, the Marlins have like 3 more ones. Like Alcantara obviously is a 1 if he gets his shit together. Yuri Perez, stuff-wise, is a 1.
Luzardo's pretty good.
Luzardo is a 3.
Still young.
Yeah. And Cabrera looked good. I mean, it's
he
just
can't throw strikes.
I know.
It's the A's. There it was. It's the A's.
It's the A's.
There it was.
Can I do one other shout out before we move on from the Rangers, because we've been all over the place on a Monday? So yes, their rotation's been awesome with DeGrom out even. I mean, even Heaney, like 4 ERA for Heaney with the Rangers, boom, I'll take it. Eating innings. He's been pitching. Same with bringing Martin Perez back. Just, like they have adults in their rotation. And then Gray and Evaldi are in the 2s with their ERA. Rangers ownership. Props to you, okay? I will be the first person to give an owner shit, and I will also be the first person to give them credit, right? I give a lot of credit to, even though the Padres aren't playing well, I give credit because they're going for it. They sell out. People are interested. Even though it's a roller coaster, I think they'll be a playoff contender. They should be better than what they are. But owners that do shit generally get rewarded. The Rangers said 2 years ago, Semien, come on down. Seager, come on down. And then, yes, obviously DeGrom this offseason, and then the smaller moves like Evaldi and Heaney. They bought a lot of guys over the last 2 years.
They've made the right moves, though.
Yes.
And they've been allowed to spend because people come out and watch. Texas, I played Texas for a year. It was awesome.
New stadium.
Yep. We packed it in the old stadium every night. It was 100. Take the field at 7 o'clock. It's 117 degrees. And there were still 30,000 people a night. And you're like, this is fun. And they love it. Listen, it's a Cowboys town. It's always going to be a Cowboys town. But they do love their Rangers when they're good. Mm-hmm. They will come out and they will support them. And now with the enclosed roof with the little air conditioner, the only thing is like the booth is super high there, which kind of sucks.
It's not Nationals high.
It's no, dude. Nationals high is on the moon.
Nationals, you just
Nationals booth is so high you can't even see they look like ants running around the field.
Well, no, Nationals booth. My thing when I've called games there is, so for anyone that doesn't realize, and here's our broadcaster first world problems. Like they put you like
on the
basically
moon.
out of the stadium.
They put you on
My
the moon.
thing when I've been there is, and I'm like, I hate calling games remote, but I'm like, why don't we just call this game remote? This is the one game where I'm like, why don't we just go off TVs? I said, I can see, I'm looking at the TV 98% of the time anyway. I can't see ants, and you're looking straight down. It's like being on an airplane and looking straight down. I'm like, I'm just going to look at the television 98% of the time.
Texas is like that too. Not as high.
No, it's
Texas
not as high.
is high.
I've called games there.
Texas is high though.
It's
not
high.
As high. And Pittsburgh's high. Although Pittsburgh's probably my favorite place to do a game.
It's one of the only places I haven't called.
Because you look out and you have the whole city and you see like the river and
skyline.
It's a cool place.
Don't forget with Texas, which was a bigger signing, Andrew Heaney or bringing in Bruce Bochy?
Bochy.
I think that's. I mean, he just passed. He just went to 10th place all time. Like, to me, I think that's a legitimate signing.
Did you say Heaney or Bochy?
Yeah.
Bochy. 2041. Congrats to him. We're showing it on the board right now. If you're listening on the podcast, the Rangers said congrats, Boch. He is in 10th place all by himself, passing Walter Alston, who apparently signed. I learned about Walter Alston this weekend because we're not going to have time for everything, so I'm just going to mix and match things together here. Torey Lovullo signed an extension. Now he's signed through 2024. They only give him 1 year extensions each time.
I can't believe Mike Hazen hasn't given him like 3 or 4 years.
Well, it's Hazen's on the same thing now too. He's on a through 24. So that sounds like an ownership thing, saying only 1 year at a time for managers.
They need to fix the roof before they can give him an extension.
Right, exactly. We got to see how much the roof costs, then we'll get back to Torey. But he keeps signing 1 year extensions, and apparently, I think it was Alston who signed like 30 something extensions. They never gave him long-term deals.
31 year.
Is that what it was?
That's great. Oh, I'm asking you. It was 31 year extensions.
Kratz, don't believe God. He's been lying all day. So just it was probably like 4. It was probably
like 4. Like my baseball. That feels like my baseball career. All 1 year extensions.
By the way, speaking of the Rangers and guys that we're not talking about, okay, go ahead.
Walter Alston managed 23 seasons on 1 year contracts.
Okay, well that's not 30. Another lie.
Are you still surprised, Kratz? Does that number still burst out at you?
It does, but it's not 30. AJ's right.
You guys suck.
Speaking of guys on the Rangers that Jonah Heim's got to be in the All-Star game. Their catcher.
Yeah.
Possibility to start the All-Star game as American League catcher.
Jonah Heim versus Elias Diaz.
Elias Diaz, isn't he on the Rockies?
Yeah, I'm saying those two against each other in the AL versus NL.
NL's Sean Murphy. Jonah Heim.
Yeah, that's true.
293, 823 OPS, 46 RBIs. Sean Murphy's he's got almost the same. I mean, Sean Murphy's OPS is a little bit higher because he walks more. But I mean, who's better in the American League, catcher wise?
I'm researching.
I mean, I can't off the top of my head. I can't think of anybody. Gary Sanchez.
Stop.
You're such a troll.
I mean, he did start the All-Star game a couple times.
Yeah, because he deserved it.
Okay.
He was legit.
FT faithful, unite. All right, so here we go. On the ballot, because we're just no rules today. Bethancourt.
No.
Grandal.
No.
Haas.
No.
Here's Heim. Yeah, monster. There's going to be some other candidates. Just wait. Oh, you're missing some names. Yeah. I'm going to run through them all, though, to be fair. Kirk, no. Langoliers, no. Maldonado, no. Those guys are all sub 700 OPSs. Salvi's 278, 1233, 820 OPS. Plays basically every. He plays.
Yeah, but he DHs a lot.
He DHs a
lot. He DHs a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, he does.
He DHs a lot.
They have two other catchers on the roster.
Cal Raleigh's not having a good year this year.
We're forgetting the starting catcher for the American League. Ready for it? Adley Rutschman.
His numbers aren't better though, are they? His OBP is higher.
So I'm pretty sure he's the walks leader in the American League right now, which is wild for a catcher. So he's a 837 OPS. Heim's an 823. And remember, Baltimore's not a hitter's paradise anymore.
Oh, yes.
Heim's 293. Rutschman's 285. Heim's 7 homers. Rutschman's 8. Heim's 46 ribbies. Rutschman's 28.
RBIs don't matter.
And there are other things too. I get what you're saying. Those are the two.
No, you're right. It'll be.
There's really 3.
You know what? It'll
right?
be
those
Rutschman.
3.
It'll be Rutschman.
It'll be Rutschman
because the fans will vote him in.
And Salvi at the game, and Rutschman will get voted in. Yes.
Yeah, because who else is making it on the Royals?
Rutschman is the Jeter of the Orioles.
Yeah, who else is making it for the Orioles? I mean, for the Royals.
Besides Salvi, you're saying?
Salvi.
Maybe Bobby Witt. No?
I mean, he's doing okay.
Okay. Then
the Orioles have other candidates, though. But he'll make it. Bautista's making it. The Cano guy's got to make it. The 2 bullpen guys, right? Those guys got to make it.
The Orioles should have at least 4 guys there.
Yeah, they should be well represented this year.
I agree. All right. Next up, the Angels are going to Angel.
Oh, we're just skipping over Arizona, going right to the Angels?
You know why I'm skipping Arizona and Atlanta on our list of what we're talking about?
Because we're going to hit them later in the pop-off section?
We are.
Yes.
For those watching right now, the new sponsor, Cookie Candy Pop. Age is going to pop off on our boy Ozuna later. Stay tuned.
Why'd you ruin who I was going to pop off about?
Because I want people to stick around.
Yeah.
It's called a tease. So, Angels fans were all excited because they won a game yesterday. They lost the first 3 in the series to the Astros.
With Shohei. Shohei got whacked around a little pretty.
Yeah, he did. 6 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, 6 Ks. Gave up 2 homers. Framber Valdez absolutely.
Framber Valdez is disgusting.
He is disgusting.
Again, people are like, Framber, who's that? Like, I think we had this conversation on here. Framber with Kratz. And I'm like, Framber Valdez is filthy. That curving ball he throws it's unbelievable. I mean, it just goes. Whoom. Signed for $10,000.
If you have 2 strikes, you're striking out on the curve. If you're before that and you're trying to get aggressive so you don't get to 2 strikes, it's a ground ball on the sinker.
He's unbelievable. And he goes deep into games too. Deep into games.
Because he just pounds the strike zone with 2 pitches that, like, he might not, like, he only, I say only, he struck out 7 guys. And legitimately, the curveballs that were hit, that he didn't strike somebody out with 2 strikes, it was like, just no exit velocity. You don't square it up. We talked about it before. Like, it's a pitch that you're like, maybe I didn't see that right. And now I'm like, oh, man, I don't want to face that pitch again. Like, he can almost tell guys it's coming, and they're still not hitting it.
True. You're right. It's they got that much spin and that much down. We didn't even talk about our boy Alex Bregman who came on the show, and now he can't get out.
We can talk about him.
You're
Grand
welcome.
Slam.
Alex, you're welcome, by the way, for the FT hot streak.
We have the
Game
stats.
on for it.
It's called FT Muscles, and I want to make sure FT Social knows this so we can make it a thing going forward. You cool with FT Muscles? Because people do like Vibe, Magic, Mojo. I want FT Muscles.
Can it be a picture with you shirtless?
Oh, book it.
No.
Make it happen.
Yes. What do you mean? Meh. Yes.
If it gets 5,000 likes, do one of those.
Otherwise, what has to get 5,000?
No. We got to set it out.
The tweet.
The tweet about Alex Bregman?
No, the tweet about FT Muscles being a thing, or Bregman, whatever you want.
If we get 5,000 likes, it'll be FT Muscles with you shirtless like this as the thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Done.
Every
Done.
background.
I'm sending a tweet out as soon as this game's
you won't
over.
get 5,000.
I won't get 5,000 likes.
People don't want it.
Oh, people want it.
No,
I'll make sure my people want it.
They don't want it.
I'll pay for that.
Already calling people.
Yep.
Do not pay for likes. Alex Bregman numbers since appearing on Foul Territory, and he mentioned it. He was like, I heard this show's got homers in it. It does. 339, 406 on base, 468 slug, 21 hits, 2 homers, 15 RBIs in 16 games.
And a stolen base, just saying.
I did get his stolen bases.
That'll play. And he had been struggling.
But he's, what the best stat for him is? He's walked 34 times this year. He's only struck out 26. It's amazing.
That's impressive.
It's amazing.
That's why the Astros will always be good, because they walk just as much as they strike out as a team. But, him individually, yeah, he's doing that. But, there's, as a team, they do it. They're tops in walks, bottom in strikeouts. Like, it's just, that's tough to face.
You know what the difference is between the Astros and the Guardians offense? The Guardians,
they get hits and they score runs?
Yeah, besides that, the basics of the Guardians being like, oh, we make contact, right? We create chaos.
They ain't got no power.
The Astros make contact and take walks, and they slug.
Listen, I've done 2 Guardians games in a row, Saturdays in a row. It's tough because they don't hit. They hit they hit a half a home run a game in today's game, like .59 it was. Before the game, I didn't hit 2 homers in that game, but before that, .59. That's the worst in Major League Baseball. You can't pitch that good. I'm sorry. Like, Tito Francona, you're a Hall of Famer. You're probably the best manager in baseball right now. But you can't pitch that good consistently. And that's why they're kind of struggling. I mean, there's a million guys. Jimenez, our guy, he's not having a great year. There's just a lot of guys that are not hitting. Josh Bell brought in to slug. He's not slugging.
Mm-hmm.
Rosario, not having a good year. Kwan, they figured out throw heaters in. Even Kwan, okay, he did go deep in this game. They threw him a heater in. He hit a ball 29.9 miles per hour, base hit. It was right here. So he's lefty. It was like right here.
Was it with 2 strikes?
Yeah. After they had blown 2 by him, hits it down the third baseline. It goes about 50 feet, base hit. Next at bat, they throw 2 heaters in by him. Heater in. 0-2. He's late as hell. Change up. Whack. Home run. I'm on the air. I'm like, what the hell y'all doing, man? This dude's got 0 chance on a ball in. They were just going heater. Change up. Whack. 97-87. Home run.
Guys get worried about pounding the same pitch too frequently.
I mean, Kratz, how many times we talk about it? Until the guy shows you something different.
Don't change a thing.
97. Woo. 97. Woo. Jam. Change up. 87. Whack. Homer. I don't know. BT
Shane Bieber for sale. Shane Bieber for sale. Who wants him?
No chance.
What? Bieber getting traded?
No. Is he a free agent at the end of the year?
One more.
No chance.
Yeah, but they usually trade their guys with a year and a half of control.
This is the year
they've done it with Clevenger, with Bauer, because you get to the next deadline, it's a massive difference. Well, long term, but
how those 2 guys work out? Clevenger didn't pitch well for San Diego. He didn't pitch again. He was hurt.
How did Bauer do?
He's in Japan. You tell me.
But how did he do on the short term?
I don't know.
For Cincinnati?
Oh, I mean,
Cy Young.
That was the next year, though, wasn't it?
Right, but they got him for a year and change. Right?
Tito, I feel like, loved him.
Bieber, yeah. He's different.
The other guy. Bauer. Remember
close.
Yeah, right.
remember when he threw the ball over center field?
Yeah.
Tito came to get him, and Bauer's like, whew. I'm sure that went over well with Tito.
I think that was just gracious. You're giving another souvenir out.
Not in center field, can't see. There's nobody there.
Someone can run down there and grab it.
Nobody's getting that. If you guys want to know how WAR works, because I have no idea how it works, but I love making fun of the stat. Tristan McKenzie, after his 5-inning start of 10 punch-outs, he now has a .3 WAR on the season.
Sweet.
It's
positive
not wins.
0.3 in one start.
You're saying that's good or bad? It's not wins. It's not pitcher wins.
Oh, I know.
Right. So you have a problem with it, or you don't?
I just don't know how it works. But in one start, he already has a .3 positive WAR.
What's wrong with that?
No, I don't know. I don't know how it works because then what site did you get that off of? Because you can go to a different site and it'll be a different WAR. It'll be a different WAR. That was my thing with WAR. Like, I understand what it is and what its value is to sabermetrics people. But how can you have a stat with 2 different sites? They compute it differently. Why can't you just have one?
You need Fangraphs and Baseball Reference to get along.
Okay, and then my next question is so I get WAR. So Mike Trout, right? You say, okay, he's got 10 WAR this year, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, random numbers because 10's a random number. Who are they replacing him with?
Me.
Okay, then it might be 12 WAR if they're replacing him with Kratz. It might be 20
You're just
WAR
arguing the semantics of the name. It's so petty.
It's not. I'm just until someone can explain to me why we can't have one stat that for everything, then I don't get it.
It's freedom of stat.
So I can just make up. I'm just Kratz. Let's make up.
You can make one up. No one's necessarily going to follow it, but you can make up. John Smoltz, I worked with for years. He makes up stats.
He just makes them up.
He has a formula that he makes for like his Cy Youngs. He makes up a stat.
Okay,
it's true. Ask him about it. I've worked with him on it. He's
the only one that's before.
Smolty's the only one that goes off it, but he's like, this is my formula that I like.
Okay.
FTV is our stat. Foul territory value.
I'm not part of this.
FTM. Foul territory muscles.
All right. I wanted to get one stat in there about Ohtani too. He doubled against Phil Maton, who's also been disgusting out of the Astros bullpen. It was the first extra base hit against Maton's curveball this season. Hitters are 3 for 47 against that pitch with 20 punch-outs.
Good job, Shohei. Did they win the game?
No.
Oh, then who cares?
Well, because it's
Shohei?
It's a 2-man team.
Shohei and Trout?
Yeah.
Neto's
slipping a little bit.
and he hit it off the end too. Shohei, that curveball, he hit it off the end against Maton. Maton's filthy.
He is nasty.
Does anybody? Do you guys know that your Neto versus Tim Anderson argument? You know how many home runs Tim Anderson has this year?
1, 0.
You know what Tim Anderson's slugging right now?
3-1.
It's like when last time I saw, I think it was maybe Saturday, he was slugging 320.
He's hitting 273.
And
he had a really slow start, and he was hurt.
Okay, he's got 0.
273.
310 and 319.
320. Yep. 633 OPS. It's been slow. Sorry, I'm not buying that. I think he's a better player.
I do too.
You think those are going to be his end of season
100%
numbers?
do, but I'm just saying we're in June. He's got 0. Andrew Benintendi has 0.
So is it? His OPS is 633. Neto 680. It's not that different.
Would you rather have a 680 or a 630?
Yeah, I'd rather have a 680.
Who's a better shortstop?
I don't go.
Who's a better shortstop defensively?
Neto. No.
Would you rather have 680?
Are we really going back to this argument? I take Tim Anderson.
This
is at second.
Hey, don't forget Phil Maton here. He hurt it. He broke his hand punching a locker, and he didn't pitch in the World Series.
Correct.
And they still won. Like, how many teams do you pull a guy that has this kind of production off of their roster, and they still win the World Series?
Well, the Astros are just
a joke,
dangling their success in people's faces. They're like, oh, a top 3 reliever for us. He's just going to punch some shit and be out for the playoffs. Oh, we don't need a GM. GMs are overrated. We don't have a GM for the playoffs. James Click's just sitting there and we're about to fire his ass. We just don't want bad PR in October. And we're firing him for, well, it's another story. They still win. That's impressive.
They're good.
They're a powerhouse.
Listen, they're the one team that tanked and got it right. I'm serious. They tanked
in all sports.
No, other teams tanked well. The Cubs?
Who?
They won one.
They broke their curse.
Fine. But the Cubs had to do another rebuild since they tanked. The Astros have been LCS, World Series, LCS.
Yeah, they tanked to perfection.
They're the one team, and I know Evan Drellick wrote the book, and I'm kind of in the middle of it. I've been kind of busy, but the way they did it, if you read that book, is unbelievable. What say what you want about Lunau and what he did, and apparently he wasn't the best fellow in the world to work for, but somebody knew what they were doing.
He found studs.
I mean, Correa, Bregman, they traded for Alvarez, they traded for Verlander, Framber, Garcia is hurt.
Remember the famous draft with, I know McCullers has had his issues now with injuries, but McCullers and Tucker and Correa. Wasn't that all the same draft?
No, I think Tucker was a different year.
Oh.
Because Correa was the same.
1-1. Right. It was Correa and McCullers was that year. But they saved money on Correa. It's all about slot money.
Yeah.
Saved money on Correa, got McCullers. They did that with Tucker. Oh, I think it was Daz Cameron who they did.
He's been a big leaguer, though.
Yeah. But he's obviously not a regular. Not a star, not a first-round pick. But
they nailed the tanking thing. Now, because of them and because of the Cubs, those two teams, every team thinks, oh, we'll tank and we'll be better. Well, it doesn't work like that. You got to get them right.
There are certain
But they've also missed. So they missed on Mark Appel. They missed on Brady Aiken. They didn't sign. Remember the lefty guy that had the bad elbow? They didn't sign.
Here's the problem with MLB. We talk about this every week. It's a copycat league. So when one team does something really well, every owner's like, oh, we could do that. We could do that. We could profit for 6 years, just tank the whole thing, restart, and we'll be great like the Astros forever.
You think that's what the A's are doing?
Kind of, yeah. They're taking it one step further. We can do that. Different. We can tank the city, move to Vegas, and we'll make more money and have a better team.
You guys are crazy.
Well, it's the same. I say it every week with the Rays. I'm not saying this just for fun. I've spoken to multiple front office people over the last few years where they're like, yeah, some people here think that we can be the Rays.
Every team thinks they can be the Rays.
Like, you'll even get that from a GM. They'll like be making fun of like their owner or their numbers people, and like they think we can be the Rays.
The Dodgers.
I've gotten that from GMs.
Dodgers.
Why can't we be the Rays? Ownership. Why can't we be the Rays? Look what they're doing. You can't have the whole league like that. It wouldn't work, sir.
Dodgers are the Rays supersized steroids.
Right, but they're not
money.
the Rays. They spend way more.
Yeah, but they try the same stuff.
Right. Owners should be saying, why can't we be the Dodgers?
Well, yeah, I wish every owner was the Dodgers.
That's a model franchise.
I want to come back and play.
All right, let's play ball right now with our first guest, shall we? Christina De Nicola writes for the Marlins, covers them every day for MLB.com. Also, do this for AJ because he loves.
Oh God!
We went to school together.
Oh, did you guys really?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, how'd that regional go for
I don't
Miami?
care. I'm watching MLB. Don't even talk about it. But just Christina was running the Miami Hurricane.
Good job.
How are you, Christina? How's life in Miami right now? Good to see you.
Other than, I guess, the regional, the Miami Heat are in the finals. The Florida Panthers are in the finals. The Marlins are playing well. So it's a good time to be a South Florida sports fan.
Boom.
I only care about Miami, University of the Cocaines.
Oh, God. All right, let's jump into it. First up, I want to just go right to the top question that I think is on the mind of national fans of the sport. Are the Marlins going to buy or sell at the deadline? AK, are they actually going for it this year if they're in the 500-ish range and the division looks like it does right now with the Braves and then the Mets and Phillies kind of underperforming right now?
Right. Well, it's funny you ask because I guess my first day back on Friday, we talked to Kim Eng and I asked her that. And even the matter of would you try to get a deal done before the trade deadline? And she says they're always looking. And obviously for them, it's going to be a bat, an impact bat. And it's kind of remarkable what they've been able to do without Jazz Chisholm Jr. Avisail Garcia, since he signed his contract, has underperformed. 2 of the starting pitchers are hurt. But yeah, I mean, she mentioned something and it kind of leads to what you said. It's not even just in the division, like underperforming, but all of the National League East in general has kind of been lackluster. That the Marlins are in playoff position right now, even though they haven't played their best baseball.
Not playing their best baseball. What the heck's wrong with Sandy? 5 ERA. Like I know he pitched 7 innings, 5 runs last, but he's got a 5 ERA. What? This dude was unhittable last year. What's happened?
Right. So yesterday was one of those really weird fluke. They had 5-run outbursts in 1 inning. 2 of the balls didn't leave the infield. He threw a ball away. Part of the problem is the run game now. He was never good at holding runners, so that's an issue. Mechanical stuff he's been dealing with. I think he set the bar so high last year that, no offense, but it's probably can only be worse in a sense. But it's weird because it's like Zach Wheeler struggling, I think, with the Phillies. Dylan Cease has been with the White Sox. So it's not just him. I don't know if it's all these innings catching him to him as well. He's thrown over 400 plus in the past 2 years. And that's something pitching coach Mel Steinmeier Jr. had warned about last year, is that they need to monitor that because after a while it caught up to some of his former pitchers, whether it was Max Scherzer or like a Zach Greinke and stuff.
So you're down there every day. You see this team. How soon is this team going to make the playoffs?
It could be this year. I mean, if their starting pitching has always been the strength, and that's what they've built upon. And it has underachieved so far this year. And they're already 4 games over 500, which hasn't been done by the team since 2017, I believe. Just to put in perspective how tough things have been down here. Skip Schumacher's had a great influence on the club, bringing over that winning mentality from the Cardinals. So if they play their cards right, unintended, it could be this year, especially if the Mets and the Phillies keep underperforming. And the rest of the National League.
Well, the reason I asked that is because I don't think it's going to be this year, and I feel like it's going to slowly, and I think you believe that it might not be this year. It's slowly going down. To me, I see this team at the earliest contending on a consistent basis 3 years. So why not try to trade somebody like Sandy and really build up what you have? Even though his stock might be lower, but now you're actually getting somebody that, hey, you know what? You could get somebody and really start filling out what they don't have.
I think the problem is how many times this South Florida has been burnt by that. After the 97 team, after 2003, a couple years later with the Miguel Cabrera trade, then obviously when this new ownership group took over, trading away Stanton, Yelich, Ozuna, and Realmuto eventually, even though those guys never even finished 500 in season. The parts were very much greater than the sum. I think if they do that again, I think that's part of why they probably are cautious about doing that, is even if maybe, let's say it is a smart move by, some people's opinion, if they do that, the public, look to it won't be great. The optics won't be. And once again, it goes back to their starting pitching. They've got the starting pitching now, so if they can plug in holes here and there, I think that's the belief that they have, is their starting pitching can compete with anybody else. They win so many one-run games because of that starting pitching. It's not because of the offense. And their bullpen has been very, very solid as well. So that's why they believe.
How's Skip Schumacher doing there? Kratz always talks about him. Kratz, what do you say about him?
He's got such a nice butt. He is so cute, and you're not going to be able to take your eyes off it. That's what he does. Everybody has a superpower. That's Skip's.
And it's not just Kratz, that's just crowdsourced around, right? That's what everyone says.
Yeah, one of our colleagues keeps on.
True.
Yeah, I mean, right? All the different. One of our colleagues, he keeps on chickening out on asking Skip for his workout routine. So I'm hoping one day just to break the ice for our pregame scrum, just ask him, "What do you do to work out?"
Christina, I have
glutes.
I'm doing the game tonight for FS1, Royals Marlins.
Okay, you go. You got the rest. You got the next.
No.
9 minutes.
I'm going to say this. We get 15 minutes with Skip. Next time I'm going to ask him today. I'm going to tell him. All the reporters are scared to ask you. So tomorrow I want you to come to the media scrum, Skip, and I want you to just start doing squats. And when they ask what you're doing, say, "This is my workout routine every day."
Good.
I just want to see the look on other, and then I'm going to ask them to film it so I can see
split
everyone.
squats. It's split squats.
Split squats.
It's more glute centric.
Ah, got it. I just have do a lunge and just start going up and down.
Right.
That would be great. That'd be entertaining. It change up the media scrum. Christina, what you said they're not winning on offense, but their offense has been good. Larissa Rise hitting 392, obviously. But then you look at De La Cruz, you look at Sanchez. These guys have been hot. Gurriel's come over and had a great year for him compared to where he was in Houston. So something's clicking on offense.
Absolutely. Part of the problem, I guess, maybe they're getting what they, there's not the big names of like the Phillies with all their guys and the Mets. So the Marlins are making do with maybe lesser known names, especially on a national standpoint. Brian De La Cruz was one of the guys that MLB.com had put as a possible breakout. Jesus Sanchez is kind of finally living up to his former prospect status. Gurriel has been great. That was a minor league deal in March. The problem, I guess, is, Segura underachieving. And I think they lead the league in ground balls, double plays. Their ground ball rate is so high. So I guess the offense could be even better if they could cut down on that a bit, but it's a little bit easier said than done.
Yeah, true. But okay, so the thing that we talk about Scott, because he went to University of Miami, he doesn't believe in this stat, run differential, minus 39 run differential, 7 worse than MLB, but they're over 500. So they're winning all the close games.
1-run record.
So 16-4, 1 run. So the water balances at some point. If they lose that edge, no,
it doesn't balance necessarily. Look up the Mariners the last couple of years.
Okay, fine. That's why I think I don't want to speak for Kratz, but I think when you look at it from the outside and you're not there every day like you are, you say they can't keep this up. You can't keep winning every 1-run game. And that's why they're in the playoff race. That's why they're over 500. It's because of that record. It's not right.
Right. So it's obviously in a much smaller scale, but the 2020 Marlins had a really bad run differential, and they made it because of those 1-run games they won, and they lost a lot of blowout games. And that's kind of been the case this season. I think there was one game they lost to the Braves, at least probably 1 or 2 double digits. So that'll hurt. That's automatically, it only counts as 1 loss, but it was, 10 plus, run differential. So that's why it's misleading. You have those outlier games, but they're almost always in a game, whether they win it or lose it. It's usually within a few runs. It's very much like the Rays before this season when they, didn't get a lot of offense, but they were in everything because of their pitching.
So here's my thing. The Mariners have had a great bullpen the last couple of years. They're winning close games. So sometimes your run differential is not going to look great if you're a team that wins like that. My thing is, yes, you might be outperforming expectations a bit, but then, okay, let's say you feel like you're watching a team that was a little lucky lately. What if Sandy starts pitching like Sandy again? Then that'll level back. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't mean that what they did in the past is going to completely convert into what's going to happen for the rest of the season, which takes me to my next question. The second half of the season might have Sixto Sanchez. It was a guy we were just talking about, and we're going to talk about Strasburg coming up in a moment because it looks like he might be done as a pitcher. Clearly, that's not the case with Sixto, but we haven't seen him in a while. I know it's the shoulder. So what's the last report you've gotten? And do you think he could be the X factor down the stretch for the Marlins? Maybe even as a reliever, because they have plenty of starters.
Right. So we got an update on Friday. Unfortunately, he was finally seeing some game action, extended spring, and then he had a setback. I want to say maybe at this point a month ago. He's back to throwing again. I asked Kim, like, what can we expect for 2023? She says, it's up to him. He's still in their plans. Obviously that kind of talent. I think Mel had said a month or two ago, or maybe even before during spring, that he was at his age when he first, hit the scene, more advanced than any pitcher he'd ever coached. So that just tells you what kind of talent he was. But I mean, Trevor Rogers is going to be back soon. Johnny Cueto, the Marlins would hope will be back at some point from his different injuries. The one name that I'm interested in is Jake Eder. He's one of their prospects. He returned to the mound yesterday for the first time in like 22 months. When he had Tommy John surgery, was doing better than Max Meyer. It was before Yuri Perez was a thing. Before, I'm trying to think if there's another pitcher, but yeah. So he's one that would be very interesting, a very advanced arm that he could even be the one in the second half that just comes out of nowhere. He's not on the 40-man, so you'd have to make space, but he's that kind of pitcher that he could be a dude.
All right, I got a catching question for you.
Yes.
Nick Fortes has taken the starting role. Can this team make the playoffs with Nick Fortes in there, or do they need Jacob Stallings' Gold Glove behind there? I get it. He's hitting 160. He's not holding his weight in that category.
Right. So I think the Marlins are one of the worst in terms of offense for the catching position. I go back to last year at one point. Don Mattingly had mentioned that Nick Fortes reminded him a bit of Will Smith, which is glowing praise considering he's an all-star. He was a Team USA catcher. I don't know if that's necessarily, he's that good, but he's definitely grown so much defensively, whether it's blocking, pitch framing. As you mentioned, he's kind of taken pretty much a starting job, other than Sandy's sort of his personal catcher is Jacob. But I think right now that's who they'd be rolling with, those two. And just hope that they, their job, as Skip said, is to just handle the pitching staff. And then what they get offensively, ideally, they'd want more. But their thing is, once again, going back, is their pitching is their strength. So they just need those two to do their thing behind the plate and get the job done that way.
Hey, Christina, how incredible has Jorge Soler looked in your mind? And he has an opt-out after this season. So last year I'm watching him going, oh, good thing he signed that deal. He is sticking with it. Now I'm watching him going, actually, it's not the strongest free agent class. If he keeps this up, he's opting out. I mean, he's still very much in the prime of his career. So that's my only question when you start getting to buying and selling. I'm like, the Marlins don't feel like they're in it. Like that's definitely a big bat that people would be looking for. We saw what he did with the Braves a few years ago to help them win a title.
Yeah, absolutely. I asked, or someone asked the other day to Kim about Soler because of that opt-out, and she said they hadn't spoken yet, but the Jorge Soler they've gotten this year is actually more than they expected or had hoped for when they signed him before last season. Last season he was kind of like what you'd expect out of him. This year he's just completely gone stretches where he's led the offense, and particularly on Jesus Luzardo's starts, is like an unreal stat that he's like gone deep and like basically all but like 3 or 4 of Luzardo's starts. But yeah, that's another thing. Once again, the buying and selling they're gonna have to balance is like whether it's a him or like a Joey Wendell or even maybe like pieces like a John Birdie or Garrett Hampson, or if they go bigger with some of their big names like Sandy. But once again, there's so much to play. It's what the Mets and the Phillies do. The Phillies kind of have that World Series hangover that you see so much every year. It's going to be interesting the summer here in South Florida.
So question big picture for you on this franchise, because you've been covering them for a while, and obviously we even covered them as students in school to an extent. With the Jeter run organization, to me, it seemed like they really came in there like, we have a plan. We're gonna change a lot of things. They tried to do some Yankee-ish things, bring in some people that Jeter was friends with from his Yankee days. Almost a little bit secretive to me at times with things, when I feel like just be open and have fun because it's baseball. So what have you seen now with this next step of the Marlins with Kim Ng in the front office? But really, it's not just the GM spot. It's really the entire organization. In my mind, people I've talked to and when I've been down there, it just feels more loose and fun and not so serious. Am I onto something?
Yeah, was I nodding my head enough? Yes. Yeah. Yes, all those things. I think Kim did a great job of bringing Ozzo Campo from the Astros. I think there's 2 or 3. Yeah, there's 3 assistant GMs. So she likes having different voices. So it's not everybody just an echo chamber thinking the same thoughts. Unfortunately, the home run sculpture is still outside the ballpark. I still miss it. But yes, it feels different. Unfortunately, the mess we talk about, whether it's like not enough impact bats or this and that, or if the Marlins have to trade guys, it's because of that stretch when the new ownership took over and Jeter was in charge, where they missed on a lot of high picks. Whether it's JJ Bleday, who was just in town with the A's, or honestly, they haven't had a position player that's been drafted that's been impactful over the last 4 or 5 years, and that's why they've had to lean on the pitching. They've hit on almost all the pitchers, it seems like. But yeah, it feels different. And actually, something before I came on, I heard you guys talking about people want to recreate what the Rays are doing and whatnot. That's an organization Kim references a lot, whether it's them or the Guardians. But it makes sense for the kind of market the Marlins are. And people not really showing up yet, even though the team is winning, that they've kind of have to be smart and develop their own players.
Yes, they do. They need to get their attendance up, Christina. Let's get some people coming. I mean, the Dolphins, they pack it out. There's
so much talent and good teams down there that it's hard.
Yeah, oh, that's what it is. Man. You know what the problem is? They're all at that Coral Gables to watch the Cocaines lose again. Jeez, I mean, that's what it is.
Harsh.
Christina, thank you. Make sure you listen to FS1 tonight to my calling of the Royals.
Oh, can't
Marlins. Wait. And before we let you go, just say one thing. Take your both hands out like this.
No.
Go like this,
chance.
And then say, go Gators. We'll see you in the Super Regionals.
I cannot. I did have one relative that went to Florida. I actually grew up a Seminole, and I went to Miami. So I know. Ever since, I think Scott and I went to UM, we haven't been too relevant other than basketball.
Exactly.
We're a basketball school now.
We're
basketball.
That's by far.
You guys are a basketball
Men's
school.
and women's basketball was my thing. When I went there,
just as we predicted.
No, football was it. That's why AJ said to me, he's like, "Oh, do you hate like UFFC?" I was like, they really haven't been good or relevant in like 15 years.
None of them have. None of them really have.
I know, but still, like when I was there, you had Tebow run, you had the James
right, exactly.
Run. Miami's had no run.
So wait, who gets more fans of the games? The Miami Hurricanes football or the Marlins?
Oh, football by far.
Football.
Miami Hurricanes football. But that's 7 games, whatever, 6 games. That's
that and football, it's still a football town. It's funny because Miami, right? We were a private school, but you have people that are locals that cheer the Hurricanes by default. Like my dad didn't go to University of Miami, but he's a Miami Hurricanes fan. He grew up during the 80s and whatnot when they were very, very good, and then obviously in the 90s and stuff. So yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
Dude, if you haven't seen those 30, if you haven't seen those 30 for 30s on the Miami Hurricanes, those are the best ones.
Those are the best ones.
Jerome Brown and those boys.
That's why it was a fun team to root for. Fun team to watch. Entertaining.
They were entertaining.
Or against. You're right. It was let the kids play. Let the kids play.
Yeah.
Christina, great catching up with you. Thank you. Hopefully see you in
person
soon down there.
Yeah, thanks. I'm going to throw up to you one more time.
There it is. Thank you.
I just threw up again.
Good. That's your weight loss plan. Just kidding. All right. Kratz has got a big game. So AJ and me are taking over for the next hour after we do our Bet MGM locks for Monday. So let's run it and first backtrack to Friday. Kratz, you can take it away because 5-5 loss. The Mets got swept, which was bad. And tough decision by Buck. You can hear all about it on Fair Territory. Buck decided to pitch to Vladdy with a base open. Vladdy was not happy. And I was void, rain out, although Tyler Glasnow did pitch the next night.
And they lost that game.
No, they won. It was
doubleheader the next day. They lost.
Whitlock won the first one.
That was the game.
Glasnow won the second one. I was riding Glasnow.
No. The first game you lost.
No,
they lost the next game. That was your money line.
Well, if you listen to the show,
I like how it says void.
Void.
The void looks good too. It stands out. All right, but you won, Kratzy. So Brad.
Yeah, of course I did because Ohtani gave up. I was watching the game in the 6th or 7th inning. I'm not sure when it was going on. Jolts was up, and he hit a tank. He was up in the count. It was like 2-0. I'm sitting there like, oh no, he's gonna like roll over on something, and then Ohtani's going to get out of this. He hits a homer on like the 99th or 100 pitch. And I'm like, yes, he's got one more batter. And it was Maldonado. And Maldonado punched out like 2 pitches because Ohtani looked like he was on fumes. Got his 6th strikeout. Appreciation station down below 2,000.
Boom, 15 and 28. You're making a push. You'll get there. Let's do our Bet MGM locks of the day for Monday. Kratz, you go first and then just disappear.
just go down below.
Yeah. Well, and before you start, I just want to say good luck on your game.
Yeah, good luck.
Kratz is obviously a freaking gamer. He's with us every day, but he's got to jump early because he's got a massive, what do you call it? States?
First round states.
First round states. Go get him. Go get him. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
We'll do our best.
You can do, I guess, do your Kratz hats and your pick and then disappear, and then we'll do ours.
Dude, if he bets on the Pirates while he's wearing that lid, that's solid.
He's not.
That would, see, AJ, we think a lot alike. I was looking up the Oviedo game, Oviedo versus Sears, and I couldn't do it. So anyway, I didn't.
Me too.
That's where I was at. But I'm going similar. My strikeout, build your own parlay, John, that I've been doing. Ride that train till I can't anymore. But I bought down Snell's strikeouts to 5+, so I just need him to strike out 5. And he has struck out his last time out. He struck out the Cubs 5 times. But he's been striking out way more than 5, so I feel confident in that one. And Kyle Hendricks, I need him to get 4 or more strikeouts. And he struck out the Padres 6 and 7 in his last 2 starts against them. And his 2 starts this year, he's had 3 strikeouts and 5 strikeouts. And the Padres are 10th in strikeouts in the league. And the Cubs are 6th in strikeouts. So I feel like this is another easy peasy. It's coming out at 105 plus 105. So I'm putting down 300 to win 315. And the Kratz hats, everybody knows this is throwback. Kent DeColby, Willie Stargell, all the boys. Pittsburgh, we had a throwback back in 16 when I was with them. But I love this hat. I'll rock this hat just around town. Cover up his bald head.
No, I love that look. It's a great look. Go get out of here. We'll crush your mic. Good stuff, Kratz.
Yeah, good luck.
Appreciate you, boys.
Go get him, Coach. Good stuff, and good luck on your pick later too. All right, you're up next.
I'm going. So here's the thing: if Kratz wins and I lose today, we're going to pass each other money bags because I'm going to be below him. Because I'm going big. I'm chasing hard. I'm going Brandon Bielak, and you said, "Who the hell is Brandon Bielak?"
No, I didn't say that. You did say I'm not touching his. I didn't get to do my homework on
his strikeout prop is 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 5 hundo over 3.5, and it's plus 115. Now you're saying, well, you're looking at me like I'm crazy, but
no,
I just feel like 3.5 is a really low number. He's never struck out. I think he struck out 6 almost every time out. Maybe there was one time.
That's what I'm looking up for the Stros. What he's done.
Yeah, and I feel like that should be
against Tampa Bay.
Against Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay might blitz him though. No. You're not worried about that?
Mm-hmm. Nope.
It's one of the better offenses.
3.5. They strike out though. They do strike out. Brandon Lau strikes out a ton. Randy strikes out a ton. Bielak does a lot of sliders, a lot of changeups. I feel like that should be a pretty easy one. But I'm going 500 to win 575.
I'm looking at the last few here. So last start was against the Twins on the 30th, 6 punchies and 5 2/3.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee on the 24th, 3 punchies and 6 2/3.
Okay, that was the outlier.
They let him go. He's
they let him go. Dusty
no,
lets
90.
him go.
90.
No.
Yes.
Dusty lets him go.
91 pitches, 90, 88, 80, 87.
Okay, how many punchies? Read the punchies.
9 against Oakland. Doesn't count. White Sox, 5 innings, 4 Ks.
Okay, that's over 3.5.
Ooh, on May 7th, last one against Seattle, 4 2/3, 10 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks,
0. Yeah, well,
no punchies. All right, we'll see though.
There's outliers.
5 hundo, it's okay. Just 5 hundo.
Book it, Jono.
All right, now I got the Phillies run line. Nice weekend for them. Schwarberfest has begun. Do you know what Schwarberfest is?
And when he starts hitting homers in the summer?
It's called
When he
June.
just starts hitting in general in the summer?
It's called June. Phillies offense, I mean, come on. It's too talented. I'm going to pick on that team now. It's too talented not to go on a run. Tigers got swept.
They did.
By the Sox.
Including one of the craziest losses of all time.
Yeah, the wild pitch off the easy. Yeah. Tigers aren't – I'm sorry. They're not – it's not a good team. They're being managed, I think, right now very well by AJ
Hinch. Look at
Hinch.
their lineup.
That is a bad lineup and not a good pitching staff. The relief pitching's been pretty good. Like
Actually,
we just
their starters
talked about.
aren't horrible. Boyd's pitched okay.
Yeah.
Lorenzen's been pretty good.
Right. Now, Eduardo Rodriguez is out for a month.
Yeah,
he's been
hurt,
great.
Though.
Yeah. Right. Their pitching is outperformed.
They just lost Riley Green.
Their offense is bad. And Aaron Nola, come on. Eventually, it's going to get turned around. The peripherals are not bad. Joey Wentz has bad peripherals and an ERA north of 7.
So why do you take like the over? I need parlay it to an over.
Nah, just 1.5. Should I go bold today? First time
Scare
ever?
money, don't make
Claudia,
money!
mark this down. First time ever?
Ever.
I'm going to go 240 to win 200. I'm always playing the 100 game. I'm going 240.
Wow.
Mark it down. I need to make up some K-ish right now.
We all do.
Yes, we do. Thank you. So the first bet offer is on if you use the promo code SPICYBALL. And here's how to get it done. Sign up and deposit money into your newly created Bet MGM account. Download the Bet MGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or you can do that on betmgm.com. You place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses. And if that bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once the wager is settled. Always bet responsibly. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's get to some injury updates. First off, because we learned about Sale. He's hurt again. He's pissed. It's the shoulder, which is not good.
No, shoulder's bad.
But
shoulder
bad.
Equals bad. Elbow you can live with. Shoulder is not good.
Especially for him, and he's dealt with so much. It's inflammation, so he's out. I was looking. Did we get a timetable? I mean, here's Chris Cotillo wrote this about Sale from the weekend. Sale says he doesn't think the shoulder will require surgery. I'm like, well, that's good.
That's good news.
But that he won't have a full diagnosis for a week or so. He's dejected. Quote, I hate feeling like this. I started having fun playing baseball again. Now I'm back to not having fun, and that sucks. I will say he's got the Lance Lynn vibes when he talks about what's going on. Like, Chris is a straight shooter. He'll go to the press and say, "This." He said this the last few years. This sucks. I suck. The injuries suck, and my contract sucks with Boston. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm not living up to this, and I'm pissed about it. I'm a competitor because he
100%.
Chris,
yes, 100%.
He's a competitor.
He cares, and he cares.
Yeah,
he lets everyone know he cares.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that feel for Chris, and sucks for the Red Sox because, in my mind, for this team to have a chance of sniffing playoff contention, they needed a lot to go right. And Sale actually was looking pretty good. He was getting himself back on track. But
he was pitching good. He was
this
pitching
team
back.
Does not have enough pitching. I've been strong on that since the jump. Pitching depth, I was like, Boston is going to fade. They might fade sooner than I thought they would.
Fade away, Boston.
Why?
Because I had that bet.
Oh, right. The White Sox versus Red Sox
coming.
bet. That's true.
They're only 5 behind them.
Other injuries, Aaron Judge has a toe issue. He had a weekend, too. I know he didn't play yesterday.
That one game Saturday.
That catch was...
He hit the home run, then he crunched the fence, broke the fence door in Dodger Stadium.
That's a football player. Fumble, hold the damn ball, Oh, there it is. Poor fence. That was a great catch in the 8th for the Yanks, who won a big series against LA. I mean, there was a lot of star power. Also on Friday, by the way, for the Yanks. Giancarlo back, homer. There it is one more time. Donaldson back. First game back.
Homer.
Multi-homer. First game with 2 homers as a Yankee.
Maybe we can
he didn't do it last year.
Maybe we can get him on FT now.
Can you text him?
I'll try.
Say, hey, Josh, if you'd like to keep your power streak alive, highly suggest we have a conversation.
True.
So,
and Aaron Hicks, the ex-Yankee, he also found his power stroke.
You know what?
He just went to Baltimore.
Let's give him a mention for a moment.
He just went to Baltimore, grew some facial hair.
Well, that was holding him back. You feel kind of naked if you're a player and you don't have a little bit of the
scruff,
man fur.
Yeah.
Made a sick catch on Saturday. Yesterday, Sunday, he went 2 for 4 at a triple. Drove in a run. Aaron Hicks is back.
Well, he's like 5 for 11. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves.
I know.
But it is. Listen, Aaron Hicks
5 for 11. Dude. Did he go 5 for 11 at all in the last X amount of time?
He's a good dude.
Yanks?
Those pinstripes get heavy sometimes.
Yeah.
And so he got a fresh start, like we talked about, and he looks back. I mean, it's early, but he looks more like the old Aaron Hicks. He actually had a smile on his face.
He did. He needed a change of scenery like a year ago, but there's nothing you can do. You're in a contract, and no one wants you.
I mean, you're making a boatload of money.
Yep. So good for him.
Yep.
And lastly, on the injury front, Steven Strasburg, I think, is never going to pitch again.
I would tend to agree with you. And Brett Giroli said it's the worst contract of all time, and she might, because he's thrown 31 innings. 31 2/3 innings in that contract, I
31
think.
and a third.
31
3 years since winning World Series MVP in
and
2019.
He's got 4 more years? 7 years?
3 seasons left on the deal. I don't know if that's including this year or not.
I think it's 3 after, because he signed a 7-year deal after the World Series.
$245 million.
31 innings.
Contract
The only good thing about it is if you're the Nationals. The what?
They don't have insurance on that contract.
They don't?
No.
That's what I was just about to say. The only good thing is they can just DL them and they get the insurance money.
Couldn't get it insured without either a crazy premium. I don't know. I mean, insurance companies were like, I'm sorry, what?
I didn't know that.
This guy, you want me to pay? Oh, yeah, here's the insurance. Pay me $240 million and we'll insure the 5.
Oh, man.
No
well, that just changed things for me. Yeah, I thought they were like, oh, well, he won't pitch and he'd get I mean, now they're all better off, which he'd be dumb if he did if they went to him and said, hey, we'll buy you out for whatever's left. We'll buy you.
Save a couple million. There's deferrals in there, though. There's deferrals.
Yeah, but I don't know that he would do that. I don't know.
Because he already has deferrals.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And you forgot Nestor's on the IL, too.
Yeah, I know, but
that's a big deal for the Yankees.
Strasburg was a real story.
No, I know, but here's the thing about Nestor. You talked about Judge and everything else going on, but you know the Yankees, they just got Stanback. Judge might have to get. They're talking about he might have a broken toe. They don't know yet. And then you lose Nestor. Garrett Cole's been their one kind of rock in their starting rotation because Nestor has been better. He hasn't been great, but he's been good. So there's a lot of injuries happening. But the Strasburg, yeah, I mean, look, you want the dude to pitch because he was so good. It was such a good thing for the sport when he was pitching. He was
so
well.
good when he's in his prime. When you got prime Strasburg from when he came up to the show to that
but
year,
he was only healthy for like what 2 years?
Yeah, basically. 2019, he went 209 innings.
Yeah, but that was it.
And that was the big year. And
Scott
won
the World Series. Good for you, Scott Boras.
He got him an opt-out in that first deal. So he opted out after 2019, cashed out.
And no insurance.
Here's the tough part, though.
Call me. I know some insurance people that'll give you a better premium, all right?
Not anymore. It's severe nerve damage, though. That's the part. That could mess up your life.
Is it just in his arm?
I think he's had nerve pain in his neck and his shoulder. And then he was just doing lower body, but he was feeling tingling and numbness in lower body. So
can you get that? Is it something with his neck, spine?
I don't know.
I know a chiropractor
that sounds
too.
bad.
You just need one.
That sounds bad. And he's not a guy that's gonna he's not the Wainwright. Like he's the opposite. He's not a leader. He's not a vocal guy. He's super shy and he's not around the team. He doesn't travel with the team. He's barely around the team at home, if at all. So that's why you're always like, where is he and what's going on? Because he doesn't talk to the media. So it sucks.
It does suck.
He was never comfortable doing interviews. You know that, right?
It does suck. You don't want guys to get hurt ever.
No. So, they traded Soto. They traded Turner. Harper left. They smartly let Rendon go. And Max left. And Strasburg was the
They're not bad this year, though. They're not horrible this year.
No.
They can hit.
They can hit. They can't pitch, but they can hit.
Yeah, they don't need to pitch.
They can hit better than you thought they would. Yeah. Not like they're studs in the lineup. They just
Caber Ruiz is having a pretty good year, though.
Yeah.
But they can hit. They're a lot. I mean, they're right there.
They're not going. They're going to sell though if they have a piece to sell. Candelario's gone.
But I'm saying they're at least they have pieces that you can say, all right, in the future there's something in the Nationals to go off of.
Corey Dickerson, aren't we having him on this week? Probably will get dealt. Maybe Lane Thomas. He's hit well.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. And by the way, Herman's been really good for the Yanks.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Do you know if you get caught with sticky stuff again, what happens next?
No.
Suspension, right? Again.
20 games?
This is what I heard this weekend.
50? You get 50 cents a game?
So now you're relying on the umps to check your sweat, and I don't know.
See, if I'm like
now
if I'm the Rays, I'm like flipping the guy.
Right, and if I'm
this stuff's sticky, bro.
If I'm Herman and Scherzer, I'm just my shirt is just rubbing off everything every 5 seconds. 50 games, and it's a roster spot.
Dude, if he gets that's what's crazy.
Because if you get
the thing is with steroids, you get popped, they don't lose a roster spot.
It's a mistake.
So if you get popped with steroids like Tatis for 80 games,
you replace him.
Why?
You shouldn't. That should be uniform, either one way or the other.
I agree. Now, see, now that you mentioned it,
I need an explanation on that, and I guarantee you, no one would give me one. Someone's got to tell me why that's a thing.
Because if you have multiple guys,
the arbitrary sticky stuff versus a PED suspension on a test that actually tests versus the test of the hand. That might be my pop-off later.
Okay.
All right, let's hit Hot Corner. right now. And a reminder, Nicky Lopez is joining us in about 10 minutes to talk Royals ball and continue AJ homework day.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Did you learn a lot about the Marlins?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, it's just interesting to hear a local beat writer that's on the ground and telling you what's going on, because from a Nationals perspective, we don't do a lot of Marlins games. You know, I did one earlier in the year, and it was great. I talked to Skip, who I've known. I talked to John Jay, who I've known forever. I talked to some of their players, and they're great. But you just don't – nationally, you don't see a lot of Marlins games. So to hear her talk about how Kim Ng is building the team, right, what's going on with Sandy, what's going on with their hitters.
Why do you think that they don't get as much coverage? Because I think their TV ratings are decent. Like, this is a perfect example tonight. I think I've called, and I would have loved to call more. I think I've called maybe one or two. I've called a couple hundred national games, like national broadcasts. I think I've called one or two Marlins games. I've probably called 15 Royals games.
I've called a lot of Royals games too.
Even when they're not good.
I've called a lot of Royals because they rate.
Right, but that's what my point. I thought the Marlins do okay, rate-wise.
I don't know. I have to look. Check the numbers tonight.
Okay. What percent of the country are you in?
100%.
Are you?
Well, yeah. It's
right. It's
FS1.
It's FS1.
It's not a split game.
There you go. All right, let's run the hot corner, shall we? Let's start with Chaim Bloom. I didn't get to see this one. I've seen about half of these, so some of them are going to be a surprise for me. Chaim Bloom cleaning up for the doubleheader.
The game you lost, he's cleaning up after.
Right, so that I can win.
Cleaning up your losses.
By the way, cleaning up one of your notes from earlier, when Ohtani hit that double, that was the one game they did win, by the way.
Oh, you said they lost. I asked.
No, I'm all over the place.
You are such a liar today. You are just lying. That's awesome. By the way, Chaim Bloom and a lot of the front office staff was helping. That's awesome. Good for you. Good on you, Chaim, for doing that.
I have something
I
else.
wouldn't have done that.
What? You wouldn't do that?
If it was raining, the cold, I would have been like, yeah, I'm going to let someone else pick that garbage up today. Now, if it was sunny and nice out, I probably would have thought about it.
Speaking of the Rays and Red Sox, I do have some breaking news that was posted like 20 minutes ago. Guess who just went on the IL? It's not a laughing matter. It sucks.
Tyler Glasnow?
No.
Chris Sale.
What's your K prop tonight?
Brandon Bielak?
Yeah. So who are you relying on for a strikeout or
Brandon
two?
Lau?
Lau, low back inflammation. He just hit the IL today. Just happened.
Oh.
Should we void you?
No.
I'm kidding. Can't do it.
That sucks, dude.
It does suck.
Again, I hate when guys get hurt. That sucks. Like, guys get hurt for me. No, I know. But I hate when guys get hurt.
Of course.
It sucks. You never want guys to get hurt. So
next up,
get better.
Yeah, get well soon, Brandon. Next up, this is an AJ special since the White Sox swept the Tigers this weekend. This could be one of the weirdest endings to a game. We've seen walk-off wild pitches, but it's where the pitch landed and then deflected.
It didn't land.
Well, it landed.
It landed after it hit the umpire in the face.
Right.
Oof, yeah, let's run this because this is crazy.
And well off the line at first, and Tim takes the ball away. It slightly gets away. Nobody can find it, and the mystery ball is a Sox win.
Corey Blazer is down because it got him.
Well, let's see. The Sox win for now. 2-1 the final, and that should be that, right? Yeah, that's it.
That's the end of the ball game.
I just didn't see a signal because the umpire was down. The Sox will take it. It's 2-1.
Is Benetti calling you? AJ takes phone calls now, too.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, please let him in.
Oh, we have a guest coming in.
It was Corey Blazer calling. Wonder what just happened.
So here's my question I have.
He got crossed up.
But you saw who was at catcher there. That was Zebi Savala, right?
No, that was Haas for the Tigers.
Or sorry. Yes, Haas for the Tigers. He doesn't know where it is. I guess maybe he immediately realizes I'm not going to find it and Run's going to score. He actually went to immediately help the ump.
Yeah. But,
do you have to fake like you're looking for the ball until the run scores? Because didn't he kind of look to the ump?
Because he didn't know what even happened. And he knew once it went past him, the game was over.
Just asking about the optics.
No, the optics are the game's over. So help the umpire up. Even Tim Anderson right away didn't celebrate. He went up to help Corey Blazer up. He got crossed up. He had to have gotten crossed up. People are saying, I do it on purpose. So, true story. I don't even know if anybody out there knows this. I once was catching Octavio Hotel in Detroit. Put down 2. That was a fastball. Hits the umpire right in the face. Nobody's on base. Go out to the mound. Dude, he goes, I only saw one, Poppy. Well, only one, Poppy. I said, oh, God, you just killed the umpire. Get a letter from Major League Baseball. You did that on purpose. We're watching you. True story. I'm like, look at the signs. I put down 2. He threw a 1.
Did you save that letter?
I don't know. I didn't say that.
Oh, you should have saved that letter.
All those letters.
We're watching you? Is that a threat?
No, they were like, we were watching when you did that on purpose. And I was like, no, I didn't. I put down 2, and he threw 1. You go to the videotape. And they did. And they were like, oh, yeah, sorry.
So give me the play-by-play. You get the letter. You rip it up.
I get the letter. I think the White Sox got a call from MLB saying we did this on purpose. And there was 2 things. First of all, I don't know if you know Octavio Hotel. He's one of the great dudes of all time. He's funny as hell. But for me to go out to him and say, hey, I'm going to put down 2 and you throw 1 and I'm going to let it hit the umpire, he didn't know where the ball was going that good. And 2, he would have forgotten. And he still would have thrown a curveball. So it wouldn't have worked. But I would never in a million zillion years ever do that.
That's really dirty.
Dude, that's the worst thing in the world. It hit the umpire just like a.
I would be super offended and pissed.
I was.
Because they're calling out your integrity.
What new? I know. I was pissed.
They apologize?
Yeah.
I would have called and said.
No, they did not. But yes, no.
They're suspended. Don't go into work tomorrow. Whoever sent this shit, don't go into work tomorrow. Because you don't accuse someone of something like that. Are you watching baseball? Have you ever heard of a cross-up?
But I know back in the old days it happened where they would act like they were called a pitch out and the guy would throw it down the middle and it would hit the umpire.
That's fucked up.
It is. Have you ever seen the Terry Bevington? Lefty. First pitch of the game in the White Sox. And it hits, what was the old guy's name? The Ken Kaiser right in the face. Google it. Guillen's baseball, I think, has it. Hits Ken Kaiser right in the face.
First pitch of
the game. Karkovice. Hits him in the face. Next pitch, whoever the pitcher was, they get like right here to pitch. Ball 2. You can hear him yell, ball 2. And Tony Phillips is the hitter, and he throws it right down the middle. Before he even throws it, ball 2.
To get back at him.
And then the next pitch, he's ball 3, and he throws it right down the middle. And then Bevington comes out, and they start screaming at each other. It's awesome.
Oh, we got to get the video.
It's awesome. It is awesome. I mean, first pitch of the game. Fook.
That's bad. See,
I don't think they did it on purpose.
I
don't think they did it. I don't know, but I don't think they did it on purpose.
That's bad.
That's bad. Google it. You can find it online.
I will.
I think Guillen's World has it.
Let's hit one of your tweets from the weekend, the one with the fan, because again, people go nuts. So, tell me what you saw.
I was in Minnesota, Guardians, Twins, and I looked down from the booth because in Minnesota, the booth you can see the people are right there. It's kind of like Houston, and there he is. There's Vlad Guerrero Jr. playing in Minnesota when they were playing not in Minnesota. So the guy, I don't know who he is. I don't know. He had some nice nachos that I wanted to bite of. But yeah, he was rocking the Guerrero Jr. jersey. And we just had the conversation last week with Todd and Erik.
Todd retweeted all this stuff
about how it was bad that people are wearing jerseys of teams that aren't theirs. And yeah, I looked down and I was like, I got to get a picture of this and send it out.
It's become a very hot topic from that discussion. On the podcast, we got responses. On Twitter, some of our fans even said, love you guys, but I disagree on this one. I'm wearing whatever I want. It was good banter.
I mean, listen, wear whatever you want. I just think you're dumb if you wear a jersey of a game. Just wear a shirt. Wear a T-shirt. Wear the shirt you have on. Wear the shirt I have on.
Some like one guy said, I want everyone to know I'm not rooting for either of your damn teams. This is my team. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I'm not
here for your team or your team.
Then go to that damn game.
Well, it's like, do you not want my business? I'm still going to watch a ball game.
Yeah, I still want you to watch the ball game, but you don't have to tell me, that you don't root for one of the teams. You can just sit there and be neutral. I go to college football games or NFL game.
Yes.
Sit there.
That's what I would do. Right. If I go to a Monday night random football game and I'm a Jets fan, I'm not wearing the Jets jersey.
Yeah. If I go to use Game Time and get some tickets.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And go to a game and I'm not rooting for you because I go to Wednesday, I'm going to.
But what if it's last minute? Because that's what game time does.
True. But on Wednesday, I'm going.
And you only have the shirt on. You're wearing a White Sox shirt.
No, not having it.
Buy one.
I'll buy a shirt.
Yep.
I'll go to somewhere and buy a shirt. But here, like Wednesday, I'm going to the White Sox at Yankees in New York.
Right.
Okay. I'm not going to wear a White Sox shirt. I'm just going to wear a shirt. Even though clearly I'm not rooting for the Yankees.
You're also a former player. Do former players wear jerseys to games? No. Have you ever seen, besides their own, like for a ceremony or something, have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
That's
you know what
extra.
I might wear? I might wear my the K cancer shirt for Hendricks.
So that's a White Sox shirt, but that's different.
Yeah, or you know what? Actually, I might wear the Sarah Lang's shirt.
Baseball is the best shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that stuff, I'm saying you're not going to.
No, you know what would be awesome?
You'd have to lose a bet to wear your own jersey.
You know what would be awesome, though, is rock my jersey. Wear my own jersey.
That's what I'm saying. You'd have to lose a bet to do that.
Oh, lose a big bet.
Yeah.
It would be a big bet.
Because you'd get crushed.
Did I ever tell you the story? Okay, sorry, we're all off topic today. But did I ever tell you the story about when we were in spring training?
Mm-hmm.
We're first game of spring training, and we're playing the Angels in Tempe, and in Arizona you drive to the parks, and you wear your uniform. You take BP at your home park.
Mm-hmm.
So we take BP in Glendale, and then we drive to Tempe to play the game. Okay, that's how they do it. Well, we'd always stop somewhere to get food. So Jim Thome, Jermaine Dye, Canerco, and I think we rode together or we carpooled together. We go to like a sub store, and we walk in and we all have our uniforms on, and we're in the line, and people are looking at us like we are the craziest people in the whole world. And I just kind of stood back, and people were like, "Is that really?" Because it's close to the stadium. People were like, "Is that Jim Thome? Is that really Jermaine Dye?" Full uniform. Nobody said anything though. They were staring at us. A couple years later, Adam Dunn comes over, and he'd only been in Florida for spring training. And I said, "Hey, we go to Subway before the game. We're going somewhere to play." He's like, "Really?" He goes, "What do we wear?" And I'm like, "Your uniform." He's like, "So you're going to walk into Subway with your full uniform on?" I go, "Yeah. Watch this." So I walk in. He took a picture of it and he tweeted it out. He tweeted it, and Pedro Gomez, the late great Pedro Gomez, somehow he tweeted out to Pedro Gomez. And Pedro started this whole thing about, if you ever see these guys, they'll be in full uniform. We'd go in, and it was great because nobody would ever say anything, even though you're in full uniform. Pants too, like I'm talking pants, the whole deal, in the Subway or in the sub store.
That's crazy.
Do it all the time.
I can't believe that. Nowadays,
it might be different nowadays. I mean, this was a long time ago.
Nowadays, it goes all over social.
Right?
People will be like, "We get it, AJ. You're a big leaguer. We get it."
What was I supposed to
And
wear?
you're still paying for your sub.
Of course. We paid, tipped well.
Also, I got to do one more clarification here.
Uh-oh.
So,
what'd you mess up now? What'd you lie about now?
The Rays are playing the Red Sox. That's a wraparound. They've got a Monday game. So people are like, "Did you mean Bayo instead of Belak?" It's Astros Blue Jays.
Yeah, sorry, whatever. That's why I went over. You're the one that confused me with the Rays, damn it.
No, I didn't. It's okay.
All right, whatever. I'm still taking him over. And I wanted to go Bayo and talk me out of it.
Well, because it's an early game.
That's right, because it's 4 o'clock game. And that was the one I wanted.
Because they were rained out.
Yeah, what's Bayo, 3.5? 4.5. He's 4.5.
Is it? I think it's 4.5.
Yeah, I wanted him, and you said you talked me out of it.
I didn't talk you out of it, but we're trying to hit the night games.
See, okay, that's fault.
My bad. Let's get to Marcus Stroman.
Yep.
There's got to be like some weekly thing with Stro. Like, what did he do this week? None of it's bad. It's fun.
No, I think it's great.
It's like, you know how we do the baseballer viral hit? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like Juan Soto.
But also, if you were playing with him and he was pitching the way he is right now, would you give a shit?
No. Unless I was a guy who got hit because he did something stupid.
But I'm saying he's pitching like a 1.
Oh, 100%. He's dealing.
He's going to be the prize at the trade deadline if the Cubs don't extend him.
Yeah.
He wants to stay. He basically put that on the record with Ken last week.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, that's pushing your chips over to the Cubs and saying, "Where's my extension offer? Let's try and, he's a vet. He would do it during the season."
Also, see, here's the thing it also does. puts him in good with the fans.
Of course.
Okay, so even if they trade him, he'd be like, I tried to stay. I wanted to stay.
And they're going to be like, miss you, Stro. And
gosh, we wish we still had Stroman. We'd be imagine how good we'd be if we had Stroman. We'd win 75 games.
Pitching in the playoffs, and Cubs fans would be like, screw you. You guys should have kept him. And then they might even say, hey, you should re-sign him. He's going to be a free agent now.
That almost never happens.
I know.
Unless you're Aroldis Chapman.
Well, wait. We have a Legends territory about John Lester coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear all about it.
So it was like Jose Lima. Okay, remember Lima time?
Mm-hmm. He was fun to watch.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
He would dance when he struck you out, but if you had a homer off him and you pimped it, he didn't care. He'd laugh. Like, okay, tip your cap. You got me. He's over there, he'd strike you out and he'd do the whole thing.
Yeah, he would do his thing.
Yeah, and then you struck him out, and then he'd strike you out. You danced. You hit a home run off him. You danced. He was okay with it. That's the way it should be. If you're gonna dish it out, you better damn sure be able to take it. Stroman, he struck out Soto yesterday and did a shuffle, and Soto laughed. Good for him. Good for him.
I think that's fun.
I think it's great.
Well, because some pitchers have had problems with Soto because
he hasn't been able to do it because the pitch clock has changed.
He can't do his move. Well, it's got to be
quick,
a super quick shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not as out there anymore, So, just saying. What about the fake catch?
That was great. Indiana State.
So you're my college baseball expert.
Mm-hmm. Now, dude, there's no better weekend than college regional, which is still going right now. There's no better weekend if you like baseball.
It's good ball.
Because there's upsets, there's teams that shouldn't make it that do it, and all these things. And we're going to run the video of this guy dude catching it. Do we have it?
I think we have the video. Also, by the way, funny, of all the teams who got a mention last week, you were on that show. Remember we had Kike on, Hernandez?
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about baseball in Puerto Rico and how they're under-recruited for college. Indiana State.
14th national seed, by the way.
Are they still in it?
Yeah. They won the regional.
Let's see it.
Put himself in a hole.
Oh, this one's hit well. Out to left field. Pottinger at the wall. Oh, he did it again! Get out of town! Pottinger robs the second home run of the weekend. No, he doesn't have it. Oh, he faked everybody out. Oh, he faked everybody out. Everybody in the entire stadium thought he caught it, but it's a home run for Frazier.
Yeah, he even had a smile on his face. You love the effort. He knew exactly where it was. It looked like it went in his glove and maybe came out as the glove went over the fence. And there you see the teammates, Dorigi and Huckstorf, telling him. That's
good. He deked him. If he runs back to the dugout,
he's out.
I think.
I love the first base coach. He's like, stay right there. Do not move. That was great. Good. You know what the best part was? He was jogging in because there was 2 outs. So everyone assumed he just caught it and he has the ball. Usually when you make a catch like that, you show it. It's not as good as the guy in Korea that caught it, let the dude run around the bases.
The whole time.
Like, oh, yeah, by the way, here's the ball.
Well, that's the reverse.
That was great. Yeah, but Indiana State's good. Terry Hott, Indiana. And who went to Indiana State? Most famous guy from Indiana State.
To play ball?
Come, dude, baseball? Larry Bird. Come on, bro.
But I know Bird. I thought you were talking about baseball. Who's the most famous baseball player? I know Bird.
I have no idea in Indiana State.
Indiana State, Michigan. I know. Michigan State. I know.
Oh. Most famous alumni from me. I don't know another Sycamore, do you? Can you name one other Indiana State graduate? I mean, alumni. I don't know. I don't even know if
Larry Bird have any kids that went there?
I don't think I can.
Come on, someone else help me out in the chat. Chat's been smarter than me today. That's for damn sure.
They're telling the truth.
I just asked. Sean Manaea? No.
Really? Clint Barmas. John Wooden. Indiana State alum.
Sean Manaea.
Oh, okay.
Best prospect in the Cape League in 2012. I think that was I was way past Cape League. I was going to say, was I there?
Okay.
Broadcasting? No. Nicky Lopez, by the way, efforting.
Hard.
Yes.
Proud of you.
Let us know, production staff. Thank you.
Oh, but can we hit on the? Are we going to Reddit? We can hit Reddit.
Did you want to?
I did because I want to talk about the Oakland thing.
Okay, Reddit on Monday. Let's do it. You get one.
Okay.
Go for it until Nicky Lopez is ready.
Oakland A's fans.
Yeah.
Way to go. They tried to raise $25,000 to get shirts.
They did it.
Basically to sell the team and all that.
They're super basic. They just say sell.
Sell. And congratulations. We are forever grateful. Incredible community of A's fans. They have great fans, Oakland. The ones that show up are great, and they always support their team, and that's one of the travesties of the way things are happening in Oakland. But can we get one? Can I get one? Scott wears a medium.
Oh my gosh.
He wears a medium
right now, please.
I'll order it.
I'll order it.
I'll wear it.
I'll order them both for us tonight so that we can wear them on the 13th. So
That's
on the
what it
13th, they're doing a reverse protest.
They're all going to show up and sell.
Yeah.
But they should just
it'll get blurred out on the video.
But they should just get nobody to show up. Not one person to the game.
No, that's just proving the point.
But if you do a reverse protest by showing up, you're giving Fisher money.
You're right.
Maybe you show up and you don't buy one thing in the concession
You
stands.
sneak in.
They'd be like,
everyone hopped the fence. That's what, if you watch Legend Territory, that's what Dave Stewart used to do. Remember, Reggie Jackson was like, stop doing that. I'll just bring you guys in. They're like, nah, we want to do it sometimes.
That's funny. That's true. Good point.
Were you on that? Oh, no, that was with Adam.
The other AJ.
It was good. Yeah. But yes, that is in a week, next Tuesday. We're going to do a whole thing around it. We'll have a pre and post. No, I'm kidding. But we'll do something. We'll have a guest. We'll get the scene. Because, see, the reason, I mean, the A's might be the most talked about team of the year. Yes or no?
No, but they're getting more publicity.
No. Take yourself out of the baseball bubble.
Yeah.
In the world.
No, but they're getting more publicity than they should.
Who's more talked about in the world, hitting headlines of, random news outlets.
Shohei Ohtani and the Angels.
Okay,
Aaron Judge and the Yankees.
Most talked about team in the U.S. from a news standpoint.
Oh, you mean just from a non-baseball
like
standpoint?
When you read headlines, who's
Oakland.
on there the most?
Probably Oakland,
It's
because
Oakland,
they're making this into such a clusterfuck.
Yeah, and there's been news around it. Yeah. They're gone now. They're negotiating with Vegas.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to be in Vegas on Friday, so I'm going to go check out the site.
Are you?
No.
Can we get a scouting report?
I'm playing poker.
Ooh.
I'm in a celebrity poker tournament.
Oh, you're such a celebrity, Scott.
With Jason Kipnis. We'll talk more about it later this week. Do we have an update on Nicky, by the way? I mean, I'm totally down to jump into something else, but please keep us posted. Poor Nicky. The last update I got was he was in the laundry room working on it. So we'll see how he does. Got to hook up to the hotel Wi-Fi there.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get to little Braves Diamondbacks from the weekend. I can give you one part of AZ in Atlanta because this goes back towards the beginning of the show. The Braves have a Robert Horry.
Don't even say Eddie Rosario.
Yes.
Because he hit a grand slam?
Not just because he hit a grand slam. Have you seen his stats late in games?
They're good?
They're incredible. Huh. It's Nolan Gorman 1 and him 2 in terms of, here, I'll read it for you from David O'Brien. Eddie Rosario, who had the 9th inning grand slam Sunday against Arizona, 2 outs, down a run, bases loaded. It's what you dream of. He hits a grand slam. They win the game. He's second in the National League in OPS in the 8th inning or later.
There's no such thing as being clutch, though. Yeah, certain people.
I know, but that's fiction.
But you just said Robert Horry's clutch, and there's no way to quantify it. Mm-hmm. It's like certain general managers.
I didn't say there's no way to quantify
analytical
it.
People say there's no way to quantify clutch. There is.
Watch the game. So he's at 1239 OPS in the 8th inning or later, only behind Nolan Gorman in that category. Gorman's had a great year too.
That was a big home run too, because the Diamondbacks were cruising. Zach Allen started that game. They were winning.
Totally changed their whole road trip around.
Yeah, because
they ended up winning the series. They lost on Friday. Diamondbacks had won 6 in a row. Strider and Acuna stopped them on Saturday. And then Eddie. He disappears because Braves fans go nuts. He disappears, and then he'll have one series where he goes 8 for 11. Just like the NLCS when he was NLCS MVP. He's streaky and he's clutch.
True.
So
both.
Don't trade him. You need him for
I'm not
October.
trading him.
I'm just saying, you need him for October. You don't need him every day right now, but you need him for October.
He's like Arcia, their shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
Remember a couple years ago, the Brewers, he was an awful hitter, and then the playoffs come, and it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's the greatest thing you've ever seen.
Those guys rise to the occasion.
There's no such thing as being clutch, though.
Is there such thing as being more excited in certain spots?
1,000,000%. I played. I know how it goes.
Okay, so now I'm ready to announce a major partnership that we're excited about because I'm now seeing in the chat, don't forget about the Ozuna single. Oh, no.
Oh, it's coming.
We have not forgotten. So we would like to welcome on board to Foul Territory. Go for it. Cookie and Candy Pop. AJ's favorite. You can open bags too whenever you want. I have enough for you.
Do we have
It's
enough?
not just pretty. Yeah, whenever you want. I'm just saying. If you need to snack, we're here for you.
Man.
And we'll show where you can get it. Ooh, it is. To pop off, presented by Cereal, Candy, Cookie, Pop. All available. We'll show you where to get it and in stores. And here's 2 of the bags, and we'll show them each and every day on Foul Territory. So the rules are super simple. Pop off.
That's it? That's the only rule?
That's it. Whether it's a guest, you, whatever's the hot thing from the night before, get after it.
Well,
because you're opinionated, and I've been saving up for this one. We're texting yesterday. We're like, oh, we're excited to announce it. What are we going to do? And then in one of the late games, let me at least set it up. Marcell Ozuna, deep drive, center field, and off the wall. And where's Marcell? Oh, he's still looking at it. It's the world's longest single, 417 feet. And even if it did leave, it would have been a wall scraper. So why are you standing at home plate? Okay, you go.
My whole thing with this is, look, here's the video. Zach Gallen was happy, though.
Zach Gallen was pumped. And is there a little deke action by Jake McCarthy out there in center field? Where's Marcell?
He's giving his batting gloves to the first base coach. That's where he is. Look.
And then you know where he was?
On the bench, as he should have been.
On the bench for Sean Murphy, who was supposed to sit yesterday. And then they're like, hey, dude, you want a DH? Let's show it one more time. Because I want to make sure they get a good look here. Go ahead. I want to see AJ's face when he's explaining this.
I've done this. I played. I've hit balls you think are going out. I've been thrown out trying to get to second. I've also not made it to second when I probably should have.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing on that. But that ball hit the top. The center fielder, like when this normally happens, the guy whose position it is catches it on one hop, turns around and throws a piss missile to second, and you're out or you stop. The other dude, the right, Corbin Carroll was in right. He ran over and got the ball. It wasn't like it one hop right to the center fielder and he was like, boom, the right fielder had to run over and catch the ball on the rebound and was like running, catches it and throws it in. And then, forget, there wasn't a play. He was already taking his batting gloves off and everything was like, here, Erik Young, here's my stuff that I have to wear. So my problem is not, listen, it happens to everybody. You get thrown out, you hit a ball, you think it's gone, it gets caught, or you don't make it to second. I got that. But there wasn't even an effort. There wasn't even a try. And you know what I'm popping off about? Good on you, Brian Snitker. Good on you. Because also not forget, Marcell Ozuna doesn't have the, I don't know what you want
reputation,
the street cred to do this kind of thing. Because I was there when the fans were booing the absolute crap out of him in Atlanta for a terrible start. Now he's hitting better. He's playing better. I get it.
Much better.
Way better. But it wasn't that long ago where they were booing him off the field every at-bat. So you would think you would try to do everything in your power to win him back. And I get it. Your play speaks louder than anything. It's just bad optics. And good on you, Brian Snitker, for taking him out of the game. And not only did he take him out of the game, he said why he took him out of the game. This ain't the way we do things here. Good for you. But, man, and Zach Gallen was the happiest guy in the world because he's like, it's only a single. That ball at least should have been a double.
Zach Gallen doesn't need the help.
No, exactly. But, man, like, come on, dude. Come on. As they said, it was the NFL. Come on, man. Dude, just give me an effort. I think that's the biggest thing. Give me the effort.
No, people were popping off.
As they should have been. Because here's the thing that effort takes no skill. effort takes no skill. To have effort, to give effort, to run as hard. And listen, I'm not the Bryce Harper guy. Says everybody runs. I'm going to run every ball out as hard as I can my whole career. Bullshit. Okay, bullshit. Because you just don't. Hit a ground ball to second. You hit a one hopper to the second baseman. I'm going to sprint down there and be out still by 20 feet instead of 30 feet. Like, no, it doesn't happen. Okay, but at least fake it. I mean, I'm serious. Like, you're laughing, but fake it. Run. Oh, okay. He throws it. I'm out. Okay, then shut it down.
Can I give you a fan question?
Sure.
So, Erik Topper, curious if you and the boys can chat about this. I was a baseball player until high school. Even our T-ball coaches taught us to run hard and don't look at the ball. Why do guys in the show constantly make these mistakes and always look at the ball, like rounding first to second?
Okay. You always look at the ball. You always pick. As you get up in the ranks, you're told the ball will tell you. The ball and the scoreboard will tell you what to do in the game.
And first to second's different.
First to second, but the ball was right in front of him. It's not like it's down the right field line or down one of the lines, especially the right field line where you're
look
running.
Look at the ball and run. You can no.
You can. You can look at the ball and run. My whole thing is, why does this happen? It was out of the box. And again, not everybody runs hard out of the box. I get it. I do, Marcel. I 100% understand. But again, it's effort. He should at least have been making a turn and having to put the brakes on. I did that plenty of times. I remember one time I hit one in Yankee Stadium. Now, Yankee Stadium was like 200 feet off the right field wall. The right fielder catches it. And after the game, I see Jerry Reinsdorf. He's like, why didn't you get the second? I'm like, well, I would have been out by 30 feet. You want me to keep going? Right? So there are, I get it. But it's just, you hit a ball and you think it's a home run, you make mistakes. Right? But you know what? He made a mistake. Brian Snitker punished him and time to move on. But bad optics.
Bad optics. Okay. So that was a good start. Now that you're fired up, too.
So we got another one?
No, that's
that was it.
We'll be doing this multiple times a week. So visit cookiepopcandypop.com and enter code FOULBALL for 20% off.
By far, Scott's favorite snack. Candy Pop. Sour Patch Kids.
We have
can't get enough of them
for you here. Sour Patch, Fruity Pebbles, Butterfinger, M&M's, Oreo. Get after it and get ready for the next pop off.
You know what the problem is with that stuff?
What?
It's like addicting. So
it's not a problem.
No, so once you eat it's a
you'll down the bag.
Oh,
I've seen you do it.
Yeah, I know.
Good luck.
My stomach seen me do it too.
Hey, let's bring in our next guest, and we appreciate him sticking around. Nicky Lopez from the Kansas City Royals. This is the best. Nicky, I
got the laundry room behind me.
It's perfect. It's impeccable Wi-Fi, though, so we appreciate it, dude. I know you were fighting some Wi-Fi. You're in the hotel?
No, so I'm at the field right now. We're in Miami, so the Wi-Fi was hit or miss in the clubhouse, hit or miss down in the dugout. So I found the best spot, and it's in the laundry room. So
wait, what's the guy's name? The clubby in Miami. What's his name? Gosh, he's always trying to sell you like a TV.
What?
Starts with an R.
Yeah.
On a blank too.
Yeah, tell him to freaking up the Wi-Fi, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Pay the bills.
Yeah.
Do something.
My whole thing nowadays is like each park should have like a room where you can wire in connected. I'm working on that behind the scenes.
Okay.
So we'll keep you posted. All right, let's get into it though. Yeah, why not? Nicky, how's life right now with KC? I know the team's gone through some ups and downs, but there's promise, there's personalities. And the thing I'm most bummed about is the one day Erik Kratz is on the show like 99% of the time. He's like coaching a state final game and it's early, but he does the best Salvador Perez impression. So do you have one?
I personally don't have one. I mean, his voice is, I mean, I'm not trying to, nag on Salvi, but, sometimes you got to just, pick and choose and listen hard. But his English is good. But Salvi's my guy. I'm sure Erik has a much better impression because he's a fellow catcher with him. But yeah, like you said, it's, a lot of young personalities, a lot of young guys. They like to express themselves, which is good, but we're going through it. Obviously we want to win some more ball games, but we know where we are along the journey. And right now, so we're just kind of trying to piece it together, trying to, take positives when we can, not really dwell on the negatives because we're going to take our bumps and bruises and it's kind of crazy. I made my debut in 19, and the only two position players that are still on the team is me and Salvi. So I feel kind of old, even though I'm 28.
Damn, you're old.
I'm old.
You're super duper old, Nicky.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Has Q, has he posted a lineup yet?
Yeah, Q did post a lineup. Yes.
Are you in there?
I am. I'm batting 7th, playing 3rd.
Okay, good, because I'm doing the game tonight for Fox, so I'm going to ask him why you're not hitting higher. So I get like 15 minutes with him. I'm going to say, hey, Q, why is Nicky Lopez not hitting like second? Like, see a little bunt, little hit and run action with you.
Right, exactly. I've been trying, but maybe the computers don't say so. So
we had Q on the show recently too.
Yeah, we did have him on the show. He was great because he like every other manager in the big leagues, Kratz either played with him or played for him at some point. So
right.
Kratz knows like every manager. He doesn't know any of the players. He knows all the managers.
Oh man,
Nicky, you grew up in Illinois, so the only question I have for you is: were you a Cubs or a White Sox fan?
Well, I'm going to say.
Listen, I'm going to say this. This will determine how the rest of this interview goes, because it could be.
Well, I'm about to say that I was at the game 2 of the 05 World Series when you guys when Scotty Pods hit the walk-off home run. So, when I was young, I loved Derek Jeter, being an infielder. So I always watched Yankee games for Derek Jeter. But we went to a ton of White Sox games. I remember. Obviously that World Series run, we were actually right behind the bullpen where Konerko hit the grand slam, so it went right in front of us. So it was you guys made us all, or my family, very happy. So I appreciate you guys.
You might be hitting 3rd tonight, by the way.
Now. Yeah, right. Yeah, keep pushing.
Yeah, after that answer, you might be hitting 3rd tonight.
Give me some more ABs.
I'll try.
Hey, do you know what his OBP is right now? 357.
I know. That's what I'm saying,
go, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
You're a great surgeon right now. You got a little Pasquatch in you, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying. We had a little hiccup with appendectomy that popped up randomly, but this is probably my 4th game back. So I'm just trying to get on base. I'm not a guy who leaves the yard every single day and tries to lift, but I'm a guy who knows who I am, a guy who picks it at different positions and tries to get on base for the guys to drive me in. So
Nicky,
it's all about knowing who you are.
How long were you out with your appendectomy?
So funny story is, right before I went into surgery, I looked at our trainer and I said, is there any way I can avoid an IL stint? And he looked at me and goes, no, I do not think so. And then the doctor came in and was like, you're going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. And my fiance and my trainer were in there, and I looked at the doctor and I go, that's not going to work. And he was very thrown off. We were in Minnesota, and I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. And then he's like, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So I actually was out like 2.5 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
So yeah.
I know why you're asking.
Because Adam Dunn once had one. He was back in under a week.
Yeah, but
in Kansas City.
Eloy Jimenez just missed a month.
I know.
And I tried.
Adam Dunn. We were in Kansas City. Adam Dunn's like, man, my side hurts. I don't know what's wrong with me. And they're like, rushed him to the hospital. Appendectomy. Under a week, he's back playing.
That's crazy.
I
mean, I got one too a few years ago, and I remember I was walking around with Smoltz. We were calling a game soon after that. And I don't know how I called the game. I was like,
were you in the worst pain of your life?
I was in. I would say, worst pain of my life. I'm on the floor, and I don't know what's wrong, and I'm just like, oh man, I have the worst stomach ache. and my dad comes over and he just goes like this with his right to the spot where your appendix is. He goes, let me know how this feels. He goes, and I go, holy shit. And he goes, let's go hospital. And you go in and they're like, we're taking it out right now.
Yep, exactly how it. And we were in Minnesota and right after the day game that I played in, me, my fiance, and my father-in-law went and got sushi. So I thought it was food poisoning from Minnesota sushi. And but it wasn't. It was my appendix. So here we are.
That's the big difference is, I mean, and our show, we clearly get into poop homers for Pete Alonso and all that. That's the thing. It's not the stomach ache where you're like, man, I got to go to the bathroom. You're just in that shooting pain, obviously.
Really?
And you're like, what the fuck is this? So, dude, glad to see you're back and feeling good
so far.
I appreciate it.
You haven't lost yours?
No.
It sucks. It's not fun.
Nicky, what's your favorite position to play? Shortstop? Second?
Favorite position is second base. And it's kind of crazy, you know, third base, the ball comes at you pretty fast, but it takes you don't really think very much over there. You just kind of react, which is very nice. Shortstop, I would believe, is probably the hardest because you got a lot of stuff to, to worry about there. You got to read the hops. There's a lot of thought process, in playing short. So I think second and third are a little bit, I would say, easier, which not any position is easy, but I think those two, and then I love playing shortstop as well. I had a pretty good run in 21 at short. I've played my whole life at shortstop as well, but I guess anywhere on the field, right?
Yeah, well, I'm asking. You're playing third, you said tonight. Well, you got a break because Soler's not playing for the Marlins. So
thank
you got one less dude to worry about whacking a ball all day.
Yeah. I know, and it's crazy because we can't be out in the grass anymore, because of the shift. So I was like, well, I was going to go play left field, but I guess we can't do that with the shift now.
Yeah, it's a much more dangerous position now, for real. Guys have talked about it a lot this year. They're like, dude, I want to back up more against, Soler, Judge.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, it's pretty scary now.
Yeah, I can't imagine because I'm the first one to admit I was scared of the ball.
As a catcher?
No, put me behind the plate. Not one bit. You put me in in BP in the infield.
Oh, ball off bat infield. Yeah,
no chance.
Scared to death. Quick twitch?
No, I just was scared to death of like a ground ball coming to me and scared to death.
So put him behind.
But you put me behind the plate, I was fine, or in the batter's box. But for some reason, something about standing on that dirt and the ball coming at me and not having control over it. Mm-mm.
The worst is the day games in Kansas City when it's like 90 degrees and it's just you're basically on the parking lot. You don't know where this ball's gonna bounce up. I took one to the jaw off of Brett Gardner hit it. It was like 108 off his bat, bounced up and hit me right in the jaw, and that didn't feel that very good. So.
Yeah, he's from Chicago, tough guy, hockey player.
Right, exactly.
Hockey player.
All right, so I'm going to give you an option here because you have some great personalities, some guys that have been around for a while. I'm pretty sure I know which way you'll go, but give me your last conversation or best story this year with either Aroldis Chapman or Zack Greinke.
I'd have to do Zack Greinke. Actually, so it's Dad's trip right now. We're in Miami, and I told Greinke's dad the story of how. So I went to Creighton. Greinke was committed to go to Clemson, and we were sitting in the locker room, and I pulled all the young guys together, and I was like, "Hey, if anybody can guess where Zach was going to go to college, I'll give you $100." And everyone was like naming different, different colleges. And then someone said Creighton, and Zach looks at him and goes, "I was a 4-time Gatorade Player of the Year. You think I'm going to Creighton?" And I just look at him like, "Oh, thanks, Zach." So that's like one of my favorite Zack Greinke stories.
That's good. Almost everyone has that when they play with Zach. It's not just like a story. It's him like backdoor giving someone shit, right? Like,
right, exactly.
I heard the other day he was talking about how he was a good bunter, but he told Q this, your manager, that he would have had a lot more sack bunts, but a lot of the guys that were in front of him were below average runners, so they weren't getting a second for him. So they would get the guy on the force at second instead. We had Whit Merrifield on where he was telling him like he knew how to pitch him and he could do nothing against it. Like he tells certain guys their StatCast numbers. It's great. And he says it like straight face.
Oh, straight face. So like I introduced my dad to him when we were at home before we went on this trip. And he like just like stares at my dad and just kind of like looking. And I'm like, he didn't say hi back. And he's just looking. He goes, "You sure that he's your dad?" Because my dad's like he's like stockier, a little bit bigger. And bigger frame, and he's like, "You sure?" He's like, "He's a little bit more put together than you are." And I was like, "All right, thanks, Zach. Nice to see you." Just walked away.
Oh my gosh, you gotta love it.
That's
great. Hey, we wanted to have you on, but it was complicated during WBC. How was Team Italy there? Just because I know it's been a minute now, but I mean, you had a pretty cool manager and just a fun team to be around. I feel like Team Italy almost every year is fun. There's all like the Italian celebrations going on.
We definitely probably go over the top with the Italian celebrations with the this and like the Nespresso in the clubhouse. Well, actually, the Nespresso in in the dugout was actually someone that was from Italy. You know, he speaks just Italian, and so he actually brought it. And then Nespresso reached out to us and was like, "Oh, we got to send you guys stuff," and it was pretty cool. But it was probably one of my favorite experiences playing baseball. Just a lot of group of guys who were representing Italy, you know, from the States. And now, you know, in 3 years, we're going to keep the same team because we were really young as well, and maybe add a couple guys. But it was a blast, and be able to go to Taiwan, kind of backdoor our way into advancing to Japan, and then obviously facing Ohtani in the Tokyo Dome was something I'll never forget. So,
Nicky, have you ever Googled yourself?
Googled myself?
Yes.
I sure have, yes.
The first thing that comes up is Nicky Lopez, Italian. So
yeah,
Nicky Lopez is not an Italian name. So explain to me how the heck you played on Team Italy.
Well, so that's the thing is that, you know, when I first, you know, made my debut here in the States, like I got a lot of Latins speaking Spanish to me, and I still do. And I'm just like, no habla español, man. Like that's like I had to learn how to. And so now I go, you know, to Italy, and so a lot of the Italian guys are like, well, you know, Lopez is not an Italian name, but my mom's 100% Italian. Her family is from Italy, and then my dad's like 5% Italian. So I'm actually more Italian than I am Hispanic.
There you go. All right, I have a question. Being that
he doesn't have the Italian accent, but he's got the Chicago accent.
Oh, for sure, he's got.
You could get it.
Accent.
Oh, 100%. I could have guessed in 5 seconds where you were from.
You guys,
you just say car. I need a car.
Hey, because it's my last question here is because you've got the dads on the trip. AJ said that, was it your mom or your dad would send you the stick figures?
My mom.
Mom would send him stick figures on like his stance, like to try and help him if he was struggling. So does dad do anything like that?
So we stick figures. That's funny. So no, I shut that down pretty quick when I was in college. I was like, Dad, I got coaches here. This is freshman year. I was like, I got coaches here. You just watch baseball and enjoy it. Like it's all gonna work out. Just stop telling me to lift my elbow and squish the bug. We're done with that. So that stopped in college, and which was very funny. I always joke about it because I always say, hey, when I have kids, like you're gonna have to teach them, but you're not gonna teach them how to hit. And so he's like, all right, fine. So yeah, but no, he's good. Actually, a really cool story was that in 2019 when I made my debut, my first ever trip, big league flight, was dad's trip. So my first ever big league flight was with my dad, which is pretty special. So I don't know if a lot of people could say that.
That's pretty awesome. I never was on a team that did dad's trips.
They should have.
I know.
The guys love it.
It would have been awesome.
So yeah, we did it in 19, and then this is the first time since 19 we did it. So kind of cool.
So I have a 16-year-old son that's going to be a junior in high school.
Awesome.
And I tell him I'm like, hey, son, this is how you should hit. You know, squish the bug, elbow up, you know, the whole
thing. You say
that?
No.
But he looks at me, and there'll be times where he looks at me and is like, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, listen, kid.
Like, you sure?
I might not know a lot about in this world, but if there's one thing I knew how to do in my life, it was how to hit a damn baseball. There's a lot of stuff I'm wrong on. If there's one thing you can listen to me about, it's hitting it. Now, he's gotten better as he's gotten older, but when he was like 10 to 12-ish, he would look at me and I'd say something about hitting, and he'd look at me like I was the dumbest thing in the world I could have ever said. So, I mean, I know what your dad is going. As a dad now, you look at it and you say, I know what your father is going through because I've lived it.
Right. Now, and you know, if I would listen to you if you told me how to hit. So just to let you know, not to.
Yeah, but you're not my son.
So you're not
my son, though. See, that's the huge difference.
It's the family thing.
It's the family thing. So I can tell. I can tell my son, like, if your dad told your hitting coach, "Hey, go tell Nicky to do this," you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea." Now it just came from your dad, one person over. He just whispered in his ear. Like, I could tell my son. I could go tell another coach at the high school, "Hey, go tell my son this." He'll see me tell him. He'll run over and tell him, and he'll listen. But if it comes from me,
no chance.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
There's
maybe it is. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Yeah, maybe it is the family aspect of it. It's just, yeah. I mean, the squish the bug though, and the elbow up is probably you got to admit that's outdated.
Oh, 100,000,000%.
I've been in the adult working world where there's certain people that you have to, like, sometimes people have this with executives or even like certain broadcasters I've worked with in other TV life, like where you have to let it be their idea, right? Where you're like, oh, what if we did this? Yeah, let's do this. And then it's like, oh, that's their idea. You know what I'm saying? It's all psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, Nicky, it was awesome catching up with you, man. Next time we'll do it without the laundry. But actually, this connection is pristine.
Yes.
So you can tell your teammates, hey, if you're trying to like call someone or do anything, that's the spot.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And for your future callers, if they're ever in Miami, go to the laundry.
Yes, exactly. Good luck tonight, Nicky. Can't wait to hear AJ call your game later.
Yeah, I'll give you some mad love tonight on the game. Okay.
I appreciate
you,
that, AJ. Thank you. Thank you,
You're
guys.
welcome. I'm gonna
Cheers,
tell the
Nicky.
story you're at game 2 too. So make me look.
Love that.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
There you go.
Appreciate
Thanks, Nicky. Cheers, man.
See you guys. See you.
Nicky Lopez with us. He's great.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always
It's
wondered
been a
that.
while, but I interviewed him, on MLB years back, and I was like, A+.
I always wondered why he was Italian. Now I know.
Now you got the story.
Because he was on Team Italy, and you're like, Nicky Lopez, that sure seems like it should be, Venezuela or Puerto Rico or Mexico or one of the Latin American countries. Instead, he's like, yeah, my mom's full Italian. Great.
FT, solving the world's problems. Let's slap hands.
Ball.
I lost my ball. All right. So I just have two things. I actually don't always do birthday shout outs. I forget them most of the time, but Andrew Heaney, who we talked about earlier. So if you missed us earlier, we did a really good deep dive on the Texas Rangers and what's going right for them. And Robinson Chirinos, happy birthday. He retired recently.
Did he?
Yeah.
I played with him. Good guy.
Good guy.
Had concussions early in his career.
Yep.
I played with him with the Rangers.
Battled through it and
had a nice career.
Had a nice career.
Really nice career.
So he retired last month.
Russ Ortiz, happy birthday. He was the nastiest dude I ever saw in AAA.
Really?
He's in Fresno Giants. In Fresno State, one of the worst minor league parks in the world.
And you were like, just get out of here, go up to the show.
Yeah, he was mad. He was because he was like the first guy I ever faced that was like a cutter curveball guy. Because this was like 1998-ish, so it wasn't as big of like cutters as it is now. So it was more like everyone's like sinker, slider, and he was like a cutter curveball combo. And first, I remember we went to Fresno, and I was like, they were like, this dude's like the best pitcher in the league. And I was like, who is he? I never even heard of him. And they're like, just wait till you face him. We face him. I was like, oh, okay. I see now.
There you go. And Freddie Peralta's birthday was yesterday. Friend of the show. We'll have him back on very soon. And lastly, Fair Territory is out there for the world to see. Kenny Ball game back in biz.
Oh, did you see?
Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and he hates AJ.
Yeah, when is he coming on with me?
I asked him on Friday because AJ was texting, hey, when's Ken coming on? He's coming on Wednesday on purpose.
I'm not here on Wednesday.
Well, that's your fault. You got to show up. We scheduled him on Wednesday just for you because Fridays is not AJ day. But Kenny's been on some Fridays lately, but he'll be here Wednesday as well. So can't wait. And we're going to get a lot of Ken leading up to the trade deadline. And that show, I got some of Fair Territory before I went on the show, and I'll get the rest when I get off on my car ride back. Fantastic this week, including one topic that we didn't have time for, but the Buck Showalter move with Vladdy Jr.
Yes, but also, did you see the game Saturday, Judge? When he interviewed Judge?
He talks about it.
That's the best.
Actually,
that is the best thing ever. He looks like it's literally like it looks like Aaron Judge is like Jack from the Giant and Jack and the Beanstalk, and he's like, it literally is like 3 foot difference. It looks like.
And Sports Illustrated had an article out. They were like, Ken claims he's
like
5'4", and Ken goes, "Why would I claim I'm 5'4"? He goes, "I am 5'4". What do you want from me? It's ridiculous.
Ken's the best.
I'm actually going to switch the title because there's some Judge thing in there. I'm going to say sizing up. Ken sizes up.
Yeah,
Aaron Judge. That's a layup for me.
Yeah.
I'll change that. So look out for Fair Territory. Now we're back tomorrow with all the shenanigans. Are you here tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got to be out quick though. I got a plane, New York.
Oh yeah, the AJ tour starts tomorrow. We'll go through it. We'll see you then.
Nobody wants to go through what I got to do.